This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. COVID clusters confirmed for the Ministry of Health, dodging on COVID deaths after a church convention. And the chief medical officer saying vaccinated individuals are possibly contributing to the spread of COVID. Plus, in our interview, our discussion today, we are talking about marriage and your rights when it comes to what's yours as you go into the marriage and whether we do need prenuptial agreements. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, August 5th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardiner will be joining us. Also in Morning Blend Business, we continue our discussion from yesterday about the energy sector and where it's heading and what you need to do to prepare yourself for the future. That's all straight ahead. Our guest, Debbie D, will be back with us. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight after, the Nassau Guardian reported that multiple members of the Church of God have died or been hospitalized with COVID-19 since a youth convention held early last month. The Ministry of Health confirming that multiple clusters of COVID-19 cases have been identified during contact tracing activities in July on New Providence and the Family Islands. The ministry saying that, quote, it is aware of a report of a local daily suggesting a linkage of COVID-19 cases and deaths to a large religious gathering. It is confirmed that multiple clusters of COVID-19 cases have been identified during contact tracing activities in July on New Providence and the Family Islands. As cases increase, clusters have been linked to workplaces, construction sites, as well as social and other communal gatherings. While COVID-19 exposures can occur anywhere, the Ministry of Health reminds the general public that for all the islands of the Bahamas, private gatherings are to be restricted to 5 people, provided that the individuals are vaccinated. However, the ministry strongly recommends that there be no large gatherings. The statement also saying that the ministry is advising the public that cases, hospitalizations, and deaths from COVID have increased significantly over the past month, and that the healthcare system is at capacity. It says to slow down or prevent the spread of the virus, as with other respiratory infections, adherence to public health measures are critical. More from the Ministry of Health, while noting that it is highly likely that the Delta variant is present in the Bahamas. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Pearl McMillan saying there is a possibility that vaccinated individuals are spreading COVID throughout the country. New research suggesting that vaccinated individuals can spread the virus as easily as unvaccinated individuals. The Bahamas has received more than 126,000 doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine since March. As of July 31st, nearly 107,000 doses of the vaccine were administered. With more than 15,000 COVID cases confirmed since March 2020, a prolonged state of emergency continues as the Prime Minister urges Bahamians to take the vaccine. PLP candidate for Freetown, Wayne Monroe, QC, says he's been hospitalized after testing positive for COVID-19. In a statement, he said he was at Doctors Hospital and expressing gratitude to the nurses and doctors there. He also thanked his supporters and family and friends for their support. Monroe's hospitalization comes as we are seeing this surge in cases in the country. In an interview with the Nassau Guardian last week, Monroe said he was not vaccinated and did not intend to take what he called an experimental vaccine. He was replying to a question about recently announced measures which restrict unvaccinated individuals from campaigning ahead of the upcoming general election. Overseas, Tokyo reporting 5,042 new daily coronavirus cases today, hitting a record since the pandemic began as the infections surge in the Japanese capital hosting the Olympics. The additional cases bringing the total for Tokyo to 236,138, about a quarter of the national total. Japan reported more than 14,000 cases on Wednesday for a total of 970,000. Tokyo has been under a state of emergency since mid-July, and 4 other areas have since been added and extended until August 31st. But the measure is basically a ban on alcohol in restaurants and bars, and their shorter hours are increasingly ignored by the public, which has become tired of restrictions. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga telling reporters that the situation needs to be tackled and that they have a stronger sense of urgency now. The Prime Minister has been criticized for insisting on hosting the Olympics despite the coronavirus spreading. He says there is no evidence linking the surge in cases to the July 23rd through August 8th games. He's urging people to firmly stick to the emergency requests and stay home despite the summer vacation. And in the U.S., an overloaded van carrying 29 migrants crashing on a remote South Texas highway, killing at least 10 people, including the driver, and injuring 20 others. The crash happened shortly after 4 p.m. Wednesday, about 50 miles north of McAllen. Representatives of the Texas Department of Public Safety say the van, designed to hold 15 people, was speeding as the driver tried to veer off the highway onto Business Route 281. He lost control of the top-heavy van, which slammed into a metal utility pole and a stop sign. The van was not being pursued, according to authorities. The sheriff says he believes that all the passengers were migrants. The death toll was initially announced as 11, but was later revised. Authorities say that the 20 who survived the initial crash all have serious to critical injuries. The identities of the 30 in the van were being withheld until relatives can be notified. In sports, a lot going on for Team Bahamas at the Olympics, and in fact, it's hard to keep up. For more what happened yesterday, and then we'll give you the very latest as there is breaking news. First, take a listen to this report from our man in Tokyo, Sheldon Longley.
Good day, Bahamas. This is Sheldon Longley coming to you from the site of the 32nd Olympics here in Tokyo, Japan. And it would be all about vindication for Shawnee Miller on Wednesday, easily qualifying for the final of the women's 400 meters, running a qualifying time of 49.60 seconds. She will go into the final as the fourth fastest qualifier. And come Friday evening, she's going to be running out of lane 7. The final is going to come your way at 9:35 p.m. here in Tokyo, which is going to be about 8:35 a.m. in the Bahamas. So you're going to want to have to get up early and watch that one, folks. 8:35 a.m. Friday morning in the Bahamas. I was able to speak to Shawnee after the race. That's what she had to say.
I just give a lot of thanks and praise. That's all I could do. As you all know, I've been going through a lot of injuries, especially these past 3 days. And so, the main thing was just to come out here today and get a feel of the legs and just coast through to the finals. And that's exactly what we did. And we said there'd be nothing. We'll be ready for the finals when it comes.
So you have a day rest between now and the finals. How much is that going to help you?
You know, I normally don't like the day break, but I think this one is needed this time. And we're going to go back and we're going to get a lot of therapy done. My doctor was able to help a lot with a lot of the pain, and so we're going to go back and hopefully get a lot more of the pain out the way and be ready for the finals.
I know you wanted that 200 meter gold. I mean, you have a chance now to repeat as champion in the 400. That'll be a start. Looking forward.
You know, I always say what God has for you, no man can take away, and that one just wasn't for me. And so now I'm just going to focus on my 400, and I know He'll see me through. So I'm just going to keep my faith in Him and let Him have His will.
What do you want to say? Bahamas, that was Shawnee Miller after her run in the 400-meter semifinals on Wednesday. Like I said, finishing with the fourth fastest qualifying time, she will go into the final with a time of 49.60 seconds, and she will run out of lane 7. Bahamas will also be in action today. We're going to have the heats of the women's 4x400 meters. That's going to come your way at 6:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Bahamas. And Eastern Standard Time in the Bahamas, and the Bahamas is going to run out of heat 1, lane 2. Also today, Gardiner, he's going to be in the final of the men's 400 meters, and he's going to run out of lane 7. That's going to come your way at 8 a.m. Eastern Time in the Bahamas. So once again, Shawnee Miller making it to the final of the women's 400 meters. She's going to run out of lane 7 on Friday. That's going to come your way at 8:35 a.m. Friday morning. This is Sheldon Longley reporting from the site of the 32nd Olympics here in Tokyo, Japan.
And there's a lot more happening this morning. Our time, 8 o'clock, is the men's 400-meter final. Stephen Gardiner in that one, and we're hoping for gold. We'll keep you posted on that one, definitely. Just a few minutes ago, Team Bahamas in the heat for the 4x400-meter relay. And the team, Brianne Bethel, Anthony Strachan, Megan Moss, and Donisha Anderson. Disappointment again for Team Bahamas not finishing that race this morning. We'll get details from Sheldon Longley shortly, but not what we're expecting, not what we hoped for, but again, details coming shortly. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for today, we've got an upper level troughing, along with tropical moisture that will continue to support some unsettled weather across the Bahamas today, while high pressure will generate gentle to fresh breezes over the islands. For boaters and residents, you're being advised to remain alert for possible waterspout or tornado activity during showers and thunderstorms. Swimmers in the central southeast Bahamas should be alert for possible rip currents along east and south coast beaches, and everybody's being advised to limit outdoor activity and remain hydrated during triple-digit heat indices again today. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, look for partly cloudy to cloudy, hot and humid conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Gusty winds and higher seas are expected during showers and thunderstorms. Wind southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, hot and breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm with isolated showers or a thunderstorm tonight. Small craft caution continues. Temperature-wise, for the boaters in the southeast Bahamas and central Bahamas, east to southeast winds at 15 to 20 knots and seas 4 to 6 feet. Temperature-wise, look for highs getting up to around 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, with the heat index again in triple digits, 103 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
It's so summer with Esso, and that's why we're giving away thousands of dollars in fuel, food, and other fun prizes every week. Simply fuel up at $25 or more. Enter using your receipt, and you could be a winner this summer with Esso. Terms and conditions apply. Visit bettergasmileage.com/its-so-summer or our Facebook page for details. Promotion ends August 29th, 2021. It's fun! Food, fuel, and other great prizes every week. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up,
welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, we have Laverne Gardiner. Laverne Gardiner, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Glad to have you back with us. Hope you're doing well.
Good to be back. Yes.
Okay, wonderful stuff. It's an exciting morning. I feel I'm all over the place. So we're watching closely what's happening with the Olympics, and a lot happening here, right here on the ground in the country.
Yeah.
But a little bit of disappointment so far this morning. But we're hoping that'll be the end of the disappointment, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But if you are just tuning in, Team Bahamas taking part in the 4x400 meter relays, women's relays, and didn't go so well. And they were in Heat 2, I believe it was, and did not finish.
No, they didn't. I was watching it. First, you got to get up in time to try to watch it. And I was at the end, everybody, well, we weren't in a good position, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm watching everybody crossing the finish line, and I'm like, I don't see us.
Uh-oh.
Where did we go? And then, of course, when the official results came out, it showed, DNF did not finish. So I don't know what happened. I don't know. I think Anthony was on the last leg. I don't know if she got an injury and she was unable to complete the race. Not sure, but the final results just said DNF.
Yeah.
For us.
So we'll wait to hear from our Sheldon Longley, who's on the ground there in Tokyo, to get a report from him on what exactly happened with Team Bahamas. But we know Brianne Bethel, Anthony Strawn, Megan Moss, and Anisha Anderson were running that this morning. That was that's unfortunate. But as we said, that's the end of the disappointment, because we're expecting great joy in just about an hour when Stephen Gardiner takes part in the finals for the men's 400 meters. And we've got our fingers crossed for gold.
Absolutely. You probably want to, send a message to Sheldon to ask Stephen to make sure that he does have his shirt in his bag.
Right, not the T-shirt for the walkathon.
Right.
But yeah. I think that's a good idea. We'll send Sheldon that message.
Yeah.
But apparently,
note on the bag.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Stephen could be running in a garbage bag.
It really didn't. It really didn't.
Yeah,
it didn't impede him from doing well in any event. So.
Yeah. So we will see. But can you imagine if he does have the aerodynamic running gear, the right stuff on, what he was able to do? So, again, that's just coming up. It's scheduled for 8 o'clock. So we will be breaking for news.
And we will be tuned in.
Yep. So we'll break for news and we'll go and watch it. And then when we come back from the news, Laverne and I will be screaming in joy.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna that's coming up, folks. You can join the conversation today. As you know, you can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Email us morningblend@nasgar.com, or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Coming up this morning, more weather and traffic. In a few minutes, we're going to take a little break from all the COVID talk. We're going to talk about something that came out of a recent case, a recent ruling right here about a marriage issue. And we'll get some information about that. But in general, speaking about your rights as you enter a marriage, and is what's yours before the marriage, should that be ours after the marriage? Or is it that's yours, that's mine, and now we build from here together? We're going to get our legal expert, Darrell Taylor, in here with us to talk about that this morning. And again, this issue of prenups, do we need them? Why don't we have them here in the Bahamas? Why aren't they totally legally recognized here? We'll get into all of that this morning. Or maybe I don't know something. Maybe they are, but you need some special permission. I don't know. Let's find out this morning.
Yeah.
Then
This is going to be good. I hope people are tuned in. If you are planning to get married or you are married, you may be under one impression,
Right.
So
Yep.
this is going to be some good information.
Definitely. And then later in Morning Blend Business, we said we'd have her back, and so we did it today. Debbie Deal from yesterday will be back with us to talk about the energy sector, where we are and where we're going. Yesterday, we focused on the primary utility company in the country, but what should you be doing as a consumer for the future, preparing? What do you need to be doing in the short term and the long term, regardless of what those folks do with their stuff? What can you do and what you need to know? That's coming up this morning. So a lot to get to on this very busy Thursday morning. Let's begin, though, with what else is in the news. And in the news, people ask, you just said it, but 8 o'clock, what time is Stephen running? 8 o'clock this morning, that's our time, 8 o'clock our time, so that's just in a few minutes, So we're in it together. We'll keep you posted, we'll keep you company until then, and then we'll go and watch it, and then we'll come back and talk about it. But 8 o'clock. Yeah. All right. In the news, a big headline in the National Guardian today, not quite confirming it, but acknowledging it. Is that the same thing? I don't know. COVID clusters confirmed, but Ministry of Health dodging on COVID deaths after church convention. So listen to what they're saying. It's some interesting language here. So the Ministry of Health issuing a statement after the National Guardian reported that multiple members of the Church of God have died or have been hospitalized with COVID-19 since a youth convention early last month. Now, the ministry is confirming multiple clusters. This is what they said. The Ministry of Health is aware of a report in a local daily suggesting a linkage of COVID-19 cases and deaths to a large religious gathering. It is confirmed that multiple clusters of COVID-19 cases have been identified during contact tracing activities in July on New Providence and the Family Islands. As cases increase, clusters have been linked to workplaces, construction sites, as well as social and other communal gatherings. While COVID-19 exposures can occur anywhere, the Ministry of Health reminds the general public that for all the islands of the Bahamas, private gatherings are to be restricted to 5 people, provided that the individuals are vaccinated. However, the ministry strongly recommends that there be no large gatherings. The ministry advised the public that cases, hospitalizations, and deaths from COVID-19 have increased significantly over the past month. The healthcare system is at capacity to slow down or prevent the spread of the virus, as with other respiratory infections like the flu or the common cold. Adherence to public health measures are critical. Right. So, if you recall, the National Guardian wrote about this, reported on this on Monday. The Ministry of Health did not report on an alleged cluster at all. But a number of people who were at the event later came down with COVID or even died from COVID. And
maybe, just really trying to be diplomatic.
Yeah.
But, and don't want to just come out and kind of point the finger at one event or one or church. So,
and what good would that do anyway? What good would that do? Everybody has been warned. This is since March 2020 that you know that if you're in a large group, whether it's a party or a church, it makes no difference. You could all be standing there silently, and it could be a dangerous situation.
Absolutely. I think, for me, the thing of it is, I'm trying not to get into a big debate about should you take the vaccine, shouldn't you take the vaccine, or whatever. Here's the thing. Right now, cases are increasing all over the world. Just listening to the news, Tokyo's reporting 5,400 new cases, yesterday?
Yeah, crazy.
But right here in the Bahamas, we've seen a significant increase. We've heard the health professionals say that the hospitals are at capacity. People are dying. More and more people are being diagnosed. So it's going to really be about personal responsibility. Because the fact of the matter is, as the data shows, because those are words, are calling words, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated can become infected, can also spread COVID. So I think one of the major things is to be responsible, socially distance, keep those masks on, keep them on, and make sure that your nose is covered. And really think seriously about where you're going. Is it necessary for me to be at this event? What kind of safety protocol are they going to have in place? Do I really want to risk this? We have to begin to ask ourselves these questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And be serious about it.
I don't understand. People are trying to make it seem like church is different. We're not talking about what's supposed to happen there, right? Not spiritually. We're not talking about that. It's a building with people in it, people that are often sick. So this is going to be.
You don't know it's not like at the church when you get to church, someone standing to the door asking you for a PCR or a rapid antigen test. So you don't know the status of everybody that's going to be there.
Right. Yep.
So if your church is live streaming, consider just logging in or going on Facebook or whatever and watching it live. But we are in a crisis right now, and it is everybody's responsibility to do as much as they can to protect themselves and to protect their loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that may mean that you miss a service.
And I believe everybody's live streaming. Everybody is. So just watch it.
Yeah, just protect yourselves. Yeah. We have to really use wisdom and don't blow this off. And just be serious. I can't stress it enough. Keep those masks on over your nose and don't go where you don't need to go. Mm-hmm. And if you have to go somewhere, just do what you have to do and leave.
Yep, absolutely. Let's hear what you have to say about it, folks. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Here's a text here. Church is no different, and their negligence shouldn't be covered up. This shows prejudice and is a setback for our nation. The leaders of that religious group should be fined for the offense. You cannot separate justice.
Well, was it an offense? Were they breaking the law? Do we have proof that they were breaking the law?
Well, the number of people in the pictures that we see, right? That looks like a lot of people, and they don't seem to be sufficiently separated, as in they're not 6 feet apart. So that is definitely a violation, and I'm sure this number is larger than it should be. But everybody by now knows. You think that because it is a church event that it's going to be safer for you? I mean, that would be great. That would be wonderful if that could be indeed the case. It's not how it works, unfortunately. No. Unfortunately, it's not how it works. And you know that. You've known that. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Blend. It comes right back to what I was saying earlier about this educational system that does not teach you to think. All it does is gives you dates to remember a person's death and birth. It teaches you how to count. And right now we have calculators that could hold gigabytes of information far more than our brain could
some of the people can't count. Some of the people
can't
count.
Yeah, well, that makes my statement even worse.
Right.
Okay, but see, these churches, these are performance events. Understand, when you have a convention, it costs money to put it off. You can't get paid if you can do a convention virtually, not as much as you were able to be there personally. That's why some people have to be there for the collections to be great. Pun intended. But see, that's what we're dealing with. And with the educational system that doesn't teach you to think, to be creative. Look, man, this thing is real. Do you need someone to come and beat this in your head? No, you weren't taught to respect reality, my friend. That's it.
Boy. Okay. Thank you very much. That's grim, bleak, but it probably true. Way to look at it.
Think about if you are a member of a church, you're active in your church, and they want to have a convention or they're having a convention. You absolutely, of course, there's that desire to be a part of it, to want to be there. But what do we? You have to look at the overall picture. How, am I putting myself at risk by attending this event? Right now, we just need to go to the places that we need to have to go to and do what we need to do, and then just go back home.
Yeah.
So, if you're able to watch a convention or whatever event, it doesn't even just have to be a church event. If you are able to stay within the confines of your own home and watch this thing virtually, I'm encouraging people to do so.
Absolutely. Here is a text. Why are the church ministers not understanding this? Is it for the almighty dollar that they insist their members come into the building? This text here. Personal responsibility does not work, obviously, because if it did, then we wouldn't be in this mess. It's funny to me that people suggest contact tracing as an alternative to vaccines. Contact tracing is not meaningful with so much widespread COVID and people going any and everywhere. Well, I wouldn't say it's not meaningful, but I do get your point. That's after the fact, as in it is not preventative. It is not preventative. All right. This one says here, so where do the church members get infected? You have infested. It's not quite infestation, but infected, because we know ministers' political campaign was all over the place. What now? How did you do that?
This is, and you know what? That right there is the problem. COVID is not a political thing.
Hey, all the campaigns are all over the place. So, okay, but still, lots of people are sick. Lots of people have been traveling. Lots of people have been coming here sick. So, yeah,
Yes.
COVID is everywhere. That's the point, people. It's everywhere. And no matter where you go, you are very likely to be putting yourself at risk of exposure. It's very simple. Very, very simple. Okay? So, yeah. And we learned this last year. This is like after the summer break at school where the teachers go over everything we learned last year because you all keep forgetting what's happening. Anyway. Boy. Okay. If you get a chance, listen to Dr. Gerrit Bosch. Is that how you say it? In short, he explains that the mass vaccinations is creating a breeding ground for the strongest mutations of COVID. There will be a variant that will be resistant to the vaccine. The vaccinated and unvaccinated will have a huge jump in mortality. All right, so what do you suggest we do? Okay. Cases aren't increasing in a vacuum. Countries played follow the leader and relaxed border controls. Cases increased at the junction of the new infections with the Delta variant and exponential increases in people crossing the border. If we don't believe what's right in front of our eyes here at home, just look at what's happening in Tokyo with all the athletes traveling into their country. Okay. And again, what do you suggest that we do?
Right.
We close the borders?
And that absolutely, I believe that plays a part in it. You have people coming in. We are just now, tomorrow going to start requiring everybody to vaccinated or not to present a test, because we weren't doing that, because, we tend to treat our visitors, give them carte blanche. But even beyond that, I think that there's also a responsibility that hotels also should make sure that their guests wear masks in common areas. I think that should be a part of it. That doesn't diminish your experience in coming here and appreciating the Bahamas, but it doesn't make sense to have your staff wear masks, but the visitors not. So if they aren't doing it, I think that everybody, if they're in the hotel and you're in common areas, you're passing people, you're interacting with people, have your masks on.
Listen to this text. Oh, boy. I believe we should go back to restricting the number of people in food stores at one time. Too many bungling up in there. Bungling. Okay, bunching maybe. I guess COVID ain't in there, eh?
Well, I mean, and if you think about it, to a certain degree, that's true because we really aren't. I remember when last year there were X amount that was, no further. They were sanitizing everything. And you had to get your temperature taken. You had to make sure you sanitized, and they were policing it. And of late, you go to the stores, like person, they just like kind of point. They're not really even doing temperature checks and just kind of casually point hands. Don't forget to sanitize.
Oh, wow.
They're not paying attention. They're not looking the way that they used to. And so,
well, I haven't had that experience. Now, they're doing the temperature checks, but no one's looking. You are right. They're looking at something else while they pointed at you, and you're like, they can read. Apparently, they beep if you do have a temperature. So if it doesn't beep, I guess they don't look. So I've been told. I don't know if that's how it works, but nobody's really looking at your temperature.
Well, I'm just saying that not everybody has the sanitizing machine.
Yeah, a lot of them aren't working.
Has the sanitizing machine.
Already they're broken.
That checks the temperature.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of these stores, when you go in there, all they have is some big bottles of hand sanitizer.
God knows what's in that.
And they're just like, don't forget to sanitize. But, that kind of vigilance that we had last year,
right,
going into the food store, in my experience, it's not at the same level.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Okay, early day to you along with you all, Dwight.
Hi.
Dwight, you had a doctor on several days ago, Dr. Leon something. Remember?
Not that name, but we had Dr. Delon Brennan on.
Right, right. Dwight, the public need to question him. We need to ask him some questions. So I wish you could, establish that for the public, so the public would be more educated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What type of questions do you want to ask?
A lot of course, I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to give you two right offhand. Okay. Now, when you catch this virus, if somebody were to catch this virus, it hang into the system within the body, right? They cleave onto the system within, to the tissues within the body, right? That's one question. My second question, do it cling on to the skin, the outside skin of people?
Okay.
That's two questions.
Well,
I have a lot of questions.
Like any of those contagious respiratory diseases, so you do need to wash your hands, and you've been advised for months to take off the clothes that you had on and put that away from where you're going to be in the hamper immediately and wash them. So
do cleave onto the skin, the outside skin.
You need to wash your hands often. Yeah. That's what we've been told.
So let me
I
ask
don't know
you
how long it's going to be there, but
that's what I was going to find out. That's what I was going to ask you.
Frequent hand washing and washing of clothes. You don't get into bed with the clothes that you had on when you're outside.
On your face and stuff like that.
Probably.
Yes, they were the two main questions I have to ask them, but I have some more. Okay. But anyhow, thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. August 2021. Oh, good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Are you there? No? Okay, let's read some more messages here. Someone says, I ask, what's the difference between some of these church conventions and a nightclub? Okay. This is back to the person suggesting we listen to Dr. Bosch. According to the doctor, he's a PhD in virology. He says that there are specific conditions that must be present for mass vaccinations to work. Those are not our current conditions. I don't know what we should do, but he provides a solution. But breeding more deadly variants is not the answer. Well, I don't think there's a farm that they were doing that, so I don't know. But hey, okay. This person says, I'm in Abaco, and you guys are right. I go to the store. The security guards, they don't even do the social distancing. The other day, I had to argue with a patient. Okay. It says patient national, but I suspect that means Haitian national. To get away from me. Oh, dear. Wait now.
Well, I want
okay, let's stop. But
right.
Anyway, people are getting too close, right?
Yes.
Regardless of where they're from. Sure, that's a problem.
I've experienced that, and I've expressed that. I may not have said the words "get away from me," but I have said, we are still socially distancing, and I'm uncomfortable with how close you are standing to me.
Oh boy!
I have said that.
Yes, that's better than get away from me.
Yeah, no, I didn't say get away from me, but diplomatically, I was just saying I'm going to need you to back up, because it doesn't matter how close you get to me, my groceries still have to be rung up, right? So standing in my back pocket isn't going to make this cashier go any faster.
I mean, Texter, was that really necessary with the story? I mean, you could have just said you had to tell somebody, right? Because now you make us wonder if that's the reason. Is it COVID that's your problem or something else? I don't know. I don't know.
I just needed to get that story.
Oh, yeah? Okay. That really wasn't necessary. But, oh, my goodness.
We provided a platform, and they needed to share that story.
There you go, behaving people. Okay. Wow. Here we go, another text. I have not gone to the supermarket and seen anyone bungled up. I think they meant bunched up. I'm not sure what bungled up would be. I wouldn't want to see it. Wouldn't want to see people bungled up. Anyway, what I do experience is everyone keeping their distance and shopping. So please stop this narrative. That was a text, and others are concerned about the numbers in the store. I mean,
okay, that's really not your experience. Yeah. People are sharing their experience.
Maybe you go to a different time
and just because you didn't experience something doesn't mean it doesn't happen and it does not exist.
Yeah.
And, we have to be careful about we do that. Until we experience something, we kind of sometimes dismiss it out of hand. Mm-hmm. So granted, where you're going or you may not have experienced that, but I think that we can all agree that there has that vigilance that we first experienced with stores. You would literally see the security counting. You would see the one, maybe, however the store is set up, saying, okay, counting people who are leaving so that he can advise the one who's standing at the other door, okay, we can let in 10 more.
Yes.
Like, those were the kinds of things that you experienced. No, I'm sorry, you have to wait online. There are too many people in the store. There's enough people in the store. You're not getting that same kind of vigilance.
Yep, absolutely. Another person here, most of the stores have one door, and people are gathered just trying to get in. Also, some of them spray the sanitizers, and it's not adequate, and people are still in groups in the store and bringing in children. Yeah, things are definitely much more lax than they were a year ago. And this person says, I went into a bank yesterday where a lady would wipe down the counter or chair after each client. Yesterday, that lady was not there, and when I inquired, I was told it was too costly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we knew that wasn't going to last long.
I don't know. I can't really speak to that because honestly, Dwight, I don't know the last time I've gone into a bank.
Well,
but I do recall that there was one of the banks that I go to that was there was someone there, and every single time you would have to wait. They would say, just wait one moment, and there would be a lady, she would come with her wipes and her hand sanitizer, and she would wipe down the counter, and then they would say, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, I don't know if that bank is still doing that because, like I said, I don't know the last time I've gone actually inside. but there's been, even amongst us, working.
Yep.
We may wear our mask when we get into the office, but you look at these people and you say they're your work family, so maybe you pull the mask down, right?
Yeah.
And because it's like, I'm working with these people every day, but guess what? You only work with them. You don't know where they're going after hours.
That's right.
So,
yep.
I think that we have started taking a little bit more chances as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the cases are really increasing, and so we just have to do everything that we can.
All right, let me get through some more of these messages, and I want you to hear this piece. Very sad story, but take a listen to this text. Stronger controls at the border. The vaccination campaign should be targeting vulnerable people because we clearly always plan to vaccinate just enough to use in campaign photos, and we desperately need a better data gathering system. They wouldn't know where infection starts and ends under the current system. Okay, so targeting vulnerable people. Well, hey, they did that in the beginning. They urged them to come. Now, what do you mean? Do you want to go after them, like knock down their doors and say, hey, you have high blood pressure and diabetes and you're overweight. We're taking you to get vaccinated? Or do what we did, which is if you are in these risk groups, you need to come and get vaccinated and leave it up to the person. They did target them in that way. So what do you mean? But hey, okay. Another one here. I can't believe you guys are still talking about temperature checks and hand sanitizer. Theater science, just wow. Okay. This person says, well, it's funny that you would listen to Dr. Brennan, a medical doctor, and then dismiss a PhD in virology. He also points how celebrities seem to be more important than actual science in the approach to COVID. Anyway, keep wearing your mask and social distance. This is going to get much worse before anyone admits the current approach is bad. I don't know who you're talking about. You're talking to me? I'm not dismissing him. I have never heard the guy. I will take a listen. But what's Dr. Brennan is also an MD. What's your point? You rather the PhD? Okay. We're not getting it. We can't go down this road. Anyway, this one says here, we aren't going back to that, Laverne. We are people. We need to get off the breast milk and start to eat some solid food, personal responsibility, and enforcement of the rules. I guess they're talking about lockdowns and further restrictions. It's time to grow up for all of us. Okay.
They're not going back to what?
To the way it was last year. So it's time for us to be more responsible. I think that's what they're saying. All of us. Well, let's hope that's what happens.
I mean, and I think I initially started off by saying personal responsibility.
Yeah.
I was just I'm not advocating that we go back. I'm just saying that kind of vigilance isn't there. We've gotten, we have to admit that we've gotten lax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To some extent.
This text here, it says Atlantis requires mask wearing while inside, and they do sanitize at the door, but it still comes back to personal responsibility. I had to ask an elderly lady to back up off me in the checkout line at a supermarket, and she got offended and started making smart remarks about how she don't have the plague, all while wearing her mask below her nose. It took the blood of Jesus for me to ignore her. But what is stopping us from carrying our own wipes? We can do it for ourselves.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Sure, yes. I was going to say how the other people in the bank will react when you pull out your wipes after that person walks off from the counter and you start wiping down the counter and then go and talk to the teller. Well, hey, you got to protect yourself. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. So you heard the other news. Wayne Monroe, who just a few weeks ago was telling everyone he knows that he doesn't intend to take the experimental vaccine and has questioned the way we've handled the pandemic, especially in light of others over the past few decades. Unfortunately, he has now come down with COVID and is hospitalized. He sent a statement out yesterday saying he's at Doctor's Hospital and, thanking the nurses and the doctors there. So that's not good. When you're hospitalized with this, that means you've reached a terrible place. So that's pretty serious. We do wish him all the best. We wish that he recovers soon. And we are curious to know how he feels about COVID and the vaccine now, but maybe we'll find out once he gets out. This is a very sad story about a family. This is wiping out whole families, COVID. And our Jared Higgs talked to a family about their ordeal. Take a listen to Jared's report.
The York family's COVID nightmare started in mid-July when a series of COVID tests confirmed that 5 members of the family had the virus. Anthonique York says her 50-year-old mother, Carolyn York, died at her home on July 19th.
She would give you the shirt off of her back if it's her last. She would feed you out of her pot.
That day would only get worse. Her 20-year-old brother, Abishai York, and her 27-year-old sister, Arnika York, were also infected and required medical attention.
When I reached there, I talked to him. I was like, "You okay?" He's like, "Yeah, he okay," or whatever.
With the burden of COVID-19 patients weighing down the hospital, the Yorks were initially housed on the outside patio, both of them requiring oxygen to breathe. York says her brother came in having seizures, was struggling, and needed more help than he was getting. He died that night as she listened nearby.
With the proper treatment, he could have been here today, living his life. Even though our mom has passed, he would have been here today. And I vow to make a change.
The news dealt a double blow to the York family, with 2 family members gone in one day and another still battling the virus in hospital. Abishai's father, Arnold York, was devastated.
It's so hard for me that I lose my son, my wife in one day.
Our news spoke to the Yorks at their home, with the family wearing T-shirts in remembrance of their lost loved ones. They say they need answers, especially surrounding Abishai's death. Arnika York was released from hospital, and she says while her condition has improved, she still has some trouble breathing at times.
And I'm grateful, I'm thankful that I am still here to be with my family.
With health officials predicting that the highly contagious Delta variant is in the country and hospitalizations and cases remaining high, the topic of vaccinations also comes up in our conversation at the York home. Anthonique says she has it in her mind to get vaccinated. She's also encouraging her brother and sister to get vaccinated. Despite her struggles with the virus, though, Arnika doesn't want to take the vaccine. The pair is encouraging their younger peers to be more cautious.
Our parents are getting older, okay? They're getting older and their immune systems are becoming much more weaker. So you may survive, but your mom, your dad, your Grammy, they may not survive. And I just want you to be cautious in everything that you do so you don't ever have to experience the unimaginable pain my family has felt.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I am Jared Higgs.
Oh, wow.
Man, oh, man. Wow. And it's unfortunate, but it seems only when stuff like that happens that people change their tune. And, you know, it's really unfortunate that it has to come to that.
Heartbreaking.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to change gears. We're going to change the topic significantly. We're going to be talking about your rights when it comes to marriage. What do you need to know about what's yours and what's hers or what's theirs, all those things, and that prenup word as well. All of that coming up after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Women, boy, and girl, forcing folks to quarantine. I'm talking about COVID-19. Coronavirus, you're a pest. You've got this world in a mess. Like a lethal weapon in the dark, leaving death, destruction in your path. COVID-19, COVID-19. Oh, you're such a killing machine. COVID-19, COVID-19. An enemy that remains unseen.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Coronavirus update. I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. Tokyo reporting a record number of new daily COVID cases, more than 5,000, as it hosts the Olympics. Here at home, Florida's governor is slamming President Biden's approach to fighting COVID-19 after the president called out state leaders who don't back mask mandates and other measures. Here's our Sagar Magani.
Here at the White House this week, the president urged Ron DeSantis and other governors to help fight the pandemic.
If you aren't going to help, at least get out of the way.
DeSantis' response?
If you are trying to lock people down, I am standing in your way.
Accusing the president of trying to strip parental rights by forcing kids to wear masks in schools. DeSantis has ordered school districts not to mandate masks. 2 Florida school boards are now defying the ban. Sagar Magani at the White House.
And I'm Rita Foley.
Time for your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. A reminder about the work going on St. Michael Road off Prince Charles Drive. That exit off Prince Charles is still closed as the work continues there, but they are making steady progress. In your real-time traffic at this hour, we're seeing heavy traffic on Blue Hill Road just north of Soldier Road, the northbound lanes as you approach Tawny Williams-Darling Highway. And over on Mile Butler Highway, you'll see that as well. As you get close to Harold Pond, you'll notice the heavy traffic in the northbound lanes heading towards Tawny Williams-Darling Highway. Glaston Road also busy for you northbound to JFK Drive. Elsewhere, we are seeing just pockets at some of the major intersections. East-West Highway and Robinson Road, especially for the East-West Highway northbound, northeastbound drivers. You'll be seeing that there. And at East Street and Robinson Road, the intersection there, looking busy for you. Then there are pockets along Shirley Street, especially downtown at this hour, and Shirley and Mackey looking busy at that intersection. That's your real-time traffic for now. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. And we've got another check of your weather for today. Upper-level troughing along with tropical moisture will continue to support weather conditions across the country today, while high pressure will generate gentle to fresh breezes over the islands. Boaters and residents should be alert for funnel cloud activity during showers and thunderstorms. Swimmers in the central southeast Bahamas should be alert for possible rip currents along east and southeast beaches. And everybody is being advised to limit outdoor activity and remain hydrated during triple-digit heat indices expected again today. For the northwest Bahamas, your forecast calls for partly cloudy to cloudy, hot and humid conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. For the southeast and central Bahamas, partly sunny, hot and breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms becoming fair and warm with isolated showers or thunderstorm tonight. Smallcraft caution continues. Temperatures getting up to 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index at 103 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, tropical moisture enhanced by an upper-level trough will slowly dissipate, leaving the high pressure to dominate the weather across the country into the weekend. So for tomorrow, Friday, variably cloudy and hot with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms in the northwest and central Bahamas. Mostly sunny and hot with isolated showers or a thunderstorm in the southeastern islands. Saturday, partly sunny with isolated showers and thunderstorms, hot and humid in the northwest Bahamas, hot and breezy in the central and southeastern islands. We're watching the tropics, quite a bit happening there. We've got a tropical wave that has a 50% chance of development during the next 5 days. It's expected to move off the West African coast later today. There's also a tropical wave that has a 20% chance of development during the next 5 days. It will move westward at about 10 to 15 miles per hour over the central tropical Atlantic. We'll keep an eye on both of those for you. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We're back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Enjoy an elevated mobile experience with BTC, giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversations, unlimited data for all your online fun,
and unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get-a-loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
Shop early for Janae's Mix and Match specials. Get all your school uniforms, neckties, socks, shorts, character towels, raincoats, umbrellas, colorful backpacks, underclothes, and tights. Mix and match 4 school shirts, pre-monogrammed or regular, and get one free. Yes, free. Mix and match 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, and get the third one 50% off. Janae's COVID-19 Customer Recovery Assistance. Relaxed restrictions, allowing mix and match. WhatsApp 817-3295 or go online at www.janaes.com.
Switching your mortgage to CIBC First Caribbean is easy, affordable, and convenient. We'll help with your switching cost, give you 3 months payment free, and waive your commitment fees so you can enjoy the break you need. Plus, you'll get up to 95% financing and a pre-approved Visa Gold or Platinum credit card with 5,000 bonus reward points and more. Switch your home base to CIBC First Caribbean. Terms and conditions apply. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more information.
Stay a step ahead of technology with certainty and support from Custom Computers. Our know-how team is here to help you zero in on your next big tech purchase, finding solutions that take your productivity to the next level using only the best and most reliable brands. With stores in Palmdale, West Bay, and Old Fort Bay, and free delivery to businesses, there's no stopping you from stepping up your tech. Reach out to us at 396-1100. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Gee, I really love you and we're gonna get married. Going to the chapel of love. Spring is here, the sky is blue. Whoa, birds all sing as if they knew. Today's the day we'll say I do, and we'll never be lonely anymore, because
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardiner. And as we said, we're changing gears. We are talking about your rights in marriage in light of a very interesting ruling in the Court of Appeal a few weeks ago. And we've got our in-house attorney, Darrell Taylor, with us this morning to explain it all to us and why we do really need to be thinking about assets when it comes to marriage and that P word that a lot of people don't like, prenup. that word. Let's welcome back, Darrell Taylor. Always great to have you with us.
Good morning. Thanks, Dwight, and it's great to be here.
All right, so give us a synopsis of this case. This caught my eye, and then you and I had a good we had a good, actually chuckled about this, but let's talk about it. Well, why this is significant.
Dwight, let me just say off the bat that this doesn't deal the case itself, the case of Chisholm, and it was decided on 22nd of July, 2021. Actually, the ruling of the Court of Appeal was decided on the 22nd of July, 2020. This ruling, coming from the Supreme Court, was decided from September 2020. So it was appealed. But very briefly, the facts of the case are that Mr. Chisholm, he got remarried. His first wife deceased, and he had some kids with his first wife, obviously before she deceased, but he had those kids and he had a lot of assets, a significant amount of assets. And what he did was days before he was remarried, he put those assets in a company, which is what normally people would be advised to do. Put your assets in a company so it protects you, especially if it is a limited liability company. So that is exactly what he did to protect himself from a situation like this in the event of a divorce. What happened is that the judge at first instance, Justice Thompson, he, what we call, pierced the corporate veil in that he removed the covering or protection of the assets in the company. And he considered those assets when he sat to look at the division of the matrimonial property. Now, it raised a whole lot of questions for two reasons. One, these assets he acquired, obviously, before he remarried. So the question is, how is it that the courts are able to bring assets that you've acquired before the marriage, and maybe in some instances where you perhaps didn't even know who your spouse was, so they weren't there when you laid the first brick on the cornerstone of your house or whatever it is, a business, okay? So that is the thinking among some persons, that it is an unfair ruling because now you're going into the company law, obviously, but you're passing this corporate veil and bringing in assets that really you didn't acquire during the marriage. And he took those assets and the benefit that the husband would derive from those assets, and he put that in the pot when he was thinking of the distribution and the fairness of the distribution of the matrimonial property. Now, at first glance, at first blush, I must say that I myself was a bit looking at it quizzically, but as I read through the judgment, my mindset and the whole attitude toward the judgment has changed. In that I can see perhaps the rationale, the ratio as to why this decision was made the way it was.
Really?
Okay? Yes. He did not award the wife the assets. He did not even award her an interest in the assets. What he did was he looked at the benefit that the husband would derive in terms of looking at the financial provisions for both parties. And that is the whole principle upon which the court now based its decision as it relates to the distribution of matrimonial property. It's called the fairness principle, or the sharing principle, in that they look to see how, if at all possible, it is for parties to a marriage to actually remain in the best possible position as if they had remained married. In this particular instance here, I mean, the whole case has a whole lot of other aspects to it. So I believe that he looked at more than just simply the income of the person and the ability to derive income. We look at the age also, which is a consideration that the court always does. Look at the age of the parties. These persons now, when this decision was made, are in their 70s. The reasonable likelihood of being able to get some type of income is almost,
Wow.
I wouldn't say nil, but the ability
Greatly
to be
diminished.
marketable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
So-
we got a break right here. We're going to go to the news. And we want to remind everybody that Stephen Gardiner is about to run in the 400 meters for gold, we're hoping. So we'll be back with more after this.
Morning report. Hello, everyone. I'm Shannon Ferguson. Thanks for tuning in. Topping the news. The Ministry of Health has confirmed that several clusters of COVID infection were identified during the month of July. No mention of specific locations, but the ministry revealed that clusters were linked to workplaces, construction sites, and other social and communal gatherings. There were 78 new COVID infections recorded just Tuesday. Hospitalizations are now at 109. With a sharp increase in COVID cases and deaths, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Pearl McMillan says it's very likely the Delta variant is here, although they're still waiting for scientific confirmation of that. Jasmine Brown reports.
Sequencing process, because we have to send it out of the country, is delayed. We get results way after, We know what would have happened in the past. But based on what we're seeing, we believe that the Delta variant could be here. So let us, act as if it is.
Dr. McMillan's comments come as officials await the results of genomic testing and amid a surge in cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. With more than 1,200 COVID cases confirmed in July, it was the worst month for reported COVID-19 cases the Bahamas has seen since last October. Many have speculated that the presence of the Delta variant could be contributing to the latest surge of cases.
The likelihood that it is circulating is high. So let us not act as if it isn't. I'm a preventionist. Ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Last month, the Pan American Health Organization advised that the Alpha variant was found in the majority of samples tested from the Bahamas. However, at the time, officials said there was no evidence of the Delta variant, which is significantly more transmissible and possibly causes more severe illness than other COVID strains. Minister of Health Brentwood Wells has since said those samples that were tested were collected between March and April before the Delta variant spread rapidly across the globe. Dr. McMillan said this is not the time for Bahamians to let their guards down.
This is evolving, and certainly err on the side of caution. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Sanitize. Social distance. No large gatherings.
Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
While Bahamas Faith Ministries has decided all of its services for the next 2 weeks will be virtual in response to rising COVID infections and fear that the Delta variant may be behind the increase. Pastor Dave Burrows told church members the decision to suspend in-person service was taken after prayerful consideration of potential ramifications to members and the community. The church is monitoring conditions in the community before deciding how to proceed in 2 weeks. That decision follows reports of COVID infections allegedly linked to the recent Church of God National Youth Convention. Government has already restricted indoor church services to no more than an hour. Well, yet another family has been hit hard by COVID, having lost 2 of its members while others battle infections. Jared Higgs has their story.
The York family's COVID nightmare started in mid-July when a series of COVID tests confirmed that 5 members of the family had the virus. Anthonique York says her 50-year-old mother, Carolyn York, died at her home on July 19th.
She would give you the shirt off of her back if it's her last. She would feed you out of her pot.
That day would only get worse. Her 20-year-old brother, Abishai York, and her 27-year-old sister, Arnika York, were also infected and required medical attention.
When I reached there, I talked to him. I was like, "You okay?" He's like, "Yeah, he okay," or whatever.
With the burden of COVID-19 patients weighing down the hospital, the Yorks were initially housed on the outside patio, both of them requiring oxygen to breathe. York says her brother came in having seizures, was struggling, and needed more help than he was getting. He died that night as she listened nearby.
With the proper treatment, he could have been here today, living his life. Even though our mom has passed, he would have been here today. And I vow to make a change.
The news dealt a double blow to the York family, with 2 family members gone in one day and another still battling the virus in hospital. Abishai's father, Arnold York, was devastated.
It's so hard for me.
that I lose my son, my wife in one day.
Our news spoke to the Yorks at their home, with the family wearing T-shirts in remembrance of their lost loved ones. They say they need answers, especially surrounding Abishai's death. Arnika York was released from hospital, and she says while her condition has improved, she still has some trouble breathing at times.
And I'm grateful, I'm thankful that I am still here to be with my family.
With health officials predicting that the highly contagious Delta variant is in the country and hospitalizations and cases remaining high, the topic of vaccinations also comes up in our conversation at the York home. Antonique says she has it in her mind to get vaccinated. She's also encouraging her brother and sister to get vaccinated. Despite her struggles with the virus, though, Arnika doesn't want to take the vaccine. The pair is encouraging their younger peers to be more cautious.
Our parents are getting older, okay? They're getting older and their immune systems are becoming much more weaker. So you may survive, but your mom, your dad, your Grammy, they may not survive. And I just want you to be cautious in everything that you do so you don't ever have to experience the unimaginable pain my family has felt.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I am Jared Higgs.
The Hanna family is expressing gratitude for the outpouring of love and support from the Bahamian people following the death of their patriarch, former Governor General and founding father, Arthur Hanna. His loved ones say they are privileged to have had such an honorable patriarch in their lives and also celebrate his life and many contributions to nation building. Those who had the opportunity to serve with Hanna are heralding his lifelong determination to making this country great. Berthany McDermott has that.
Patriot, mentor, and nation builder are just some of the words used to describe former Deputy Prime Minister and Governor General Arthur Dion Hanna, who died at his home on Tuesday at age 93. Former parliamentarian and cabinet minister George Smith, who served with Hanna for over 11 years, called him a champion for the independence of the country.
I'll always remember the first day I entered cabinet. The Prime Minister was sitting, and Arthur Hanna was sitting to his left. And he looked up when I walked into the room. He said, "Come here, son, come here. Sit near me." And I sat to his left. And many a day when I was about to venture a point of view, he said, no, take it easy with that. Don't go there yet.
Hanna served as an MP for 32 years, after first being elected in 1960 in the Anstown constituency. He was re-elected in 1962, 1967, 1968, 1972, 1982, and 1987. The father of three also held several cabinet posts, including Minister of Trade and Industry, Home Affairs, Finance, and Education. Smith said while he had a tough exterior, Hanna had a warm and gentle heart with an unwavering love for the poor.
Arthur Hanna was made Minister of Education. And in that time, he made scholarships available to every Bahamian who wanted to get a higher education.
Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis hailed Hanna as a fierce patriot who loved his Bahamas with unrelenting devotion, courage, and passion. PLP leader Philip Davis said, "I am deeply moved on this occasion, saddened yet empowered because I know of the legacy which he left us. He dedicated his life to the Bahamas." Former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram said AD committed his whole life to the upliftment of ordinary Bahamians and to our national development, while former Prime Minister Perry Christie said he was a nationalist of surpassed conviction and integrity. For him, there was never any compromising of his principles or political ideology. He was a purist. Veteran journalist and former diplomat Ed Bethel remembers Hanna as an honorable man.
For years, I've served with him and knew a lot about him. I mean, I covered a lot of stories with him. He was an honorable fellow, really down to earth, and he was just one of those guys that we looked up to.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Stay with us, there's more news after the break.
When does a simple meal become exceptional? You guessed it, when it's made the fresh market way. We're talking exquisite cuts of fresh meat, succulent fresh seafood options, the best in fresh produce, and who can forget our exotic spices and herbs? Come on, get ready to shake up your taste buds and let our aisles inspire your inner food genius. homemade salted caramel ice cream? Egg noodle stir fry? Time to walk and roll. Slow smoked beef ribs? Oh baby! Remember, go fresh and craft delicious with Fresh Market.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
Give me my pizza right away. Gotta move quick, no time to wait. No long lines inside the place. Little Caesars, I love the taste. Hot and ready. Just come now, you don't have to call, now you don't have to wait. Hot and ready. Large pepperoni, $7.99 every day. Hot and ready. Oh, yeah. Straight out the oven and freshly made. Hot and ready. Little Caesars is hot and ready. Little Caesars is. Get yours now at Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, and now East Street South, Pineapple Plaza. Pizza.
At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid countertop appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
Enjoy an elevated mobile experience with BTC, giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversations, unlimited data for all your online fun,
and unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
Up in Sunrise the other day in a Catchman's Wallet with a DualSense PlayStation 5 wireless game controller in hand. Oh, she had an Astro A10 Pro gaming headset on and she was going to town in Fortnite. I say, well, mother, you was a gamer too? She say, child, is this COVID? I say, oh. She say, yeah, it caused me how to learn how to do gaming to communicate with all of my grandchildren and them. See, I beating up on this little one right now. I say, yeah, but according to that score, you losing. She say, yeah, losing a couple of points, but I winning plenty love.
Now get your gaming gear at Sunil's Suntronics, number 112 Montrose Avenue.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Welcome back. From social media campaigning to call centers, candidates in the next general election are finding creative ways to adapt to new campaigning restrictions. Gillian Gray takes a look.
The new campaign restrictions implemented nearly a week ago have not slowed down campaigners, as they say they have found creative ways to reach voters.
Safety protocols mandate. We have 5 persons, including myself, who are vaccinated and who are up to task. Everyone else, we find creative ways and innovative ways to include them in the process, because the buck doesn't stop with the road. The reality is there are multiple facets of inclusion that persons can have. We can put you inside our calling center, we can put you inside our emailing center, our social media center, and I believe that as a young politician, it was easy to find innovative ways to include persons.
3 people from Straughan's team joined him during our interview, and that's how it's been for a while, as he says they've kept group numbers small to ensure everyone remains safe. For Bain and Grantstown MP Travis Robinson, following the guidelines is about protecting his constituents.
For us, it's been easy to navigate in terms of putting boots on the ground, making sure that the people in Bain and Grantstown are still served, and that their representation is not hampered by myself or my team's inability to maneuver and be able to represent people on a large scale. So we've maneuvered it pretty well. We move out in groups of 5. ensuring that we practice the social distancing.
Before restrictions were put in place, large crowds from both political parties were seen in constituencies as election season heats up. With vaccine hesitancy still a challenge, the buy-in from Robinson's team to get vaccinated came through education.
90% of my campaign team are fully vaccinated. I made sure from day one that we all understood the importance of getting vaccinated, and that I brought in a doctor who spoke with my campaign team about the effects and the advantages and disadvantages, etc., about the vaccine and what COVID-19 really mean and its impact on not just the Bahamas but the world.
It's going to take a bipartisan approach to fighting COVID-19. As Strachan says, it's all about ensuring voter safety.
For national, to be in line and adhere to national protocols. But we also do it to safeguard Nassau villages. At the end of the day, their safety and their health as we go door to door is paramount. So whatever the experts have expressed needs to happen, we fall in line, because at the end of the day, it's all about the voters. It's all about ensuring that they're safe. It's all about being responsible, and it's all about just caring.
For the Guardian News Network, I'm Jillian Gray.
That's going to do it for local news. Stay with us. AP News is next.
Summer is here, and Shell presents a summer of fun. Win $30,000 in prizes when you spend $20 in fuel at any Shell location, now through September 10th. Experience incredible hotel stays in the Family Islands and Nassau. Win thousands of dollars in fuel, groceries, and electronic devices. Fuel up today and submit your receipts by WhatsApp, email, and Facebook. Follow us on Facebook for more chances to win with Shell. Terms and conditions apply.
At Apex Award Signs and Engraving, the name says it all. The country's trusted name for trophies, plaques, corporate seals, rubber stamps, badges, bumper stickers, traffic and street signs, keychains, t-shirts, interior signs, restaurant menus, and so much more. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 128 Mount Royal Avenue in Wilton Street. Open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Visit the website at apexawardsbahamas.com. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 1 in the Bahamas.
How the exercise going?
Not too good.
What happened?
Well, you know Mr. Junior make me one treadmill.
Make?
You know how he like tinker. Anyhow, he built this treadmill and he hook it up to one of them clothesline, which you could spin. You know the kind what I mean?
You mean the one would look like the upside down umbrella?
That's the one. He figure that since I was working out, I just power up one of them clothesline, so he hook it up direct to the treadmill.
Oh, so whilst you walking, clothes spinning. Makes sense to me.
Makes sense to you, eh? You know how heavy wet clothes is? But anyhow, I right there struggling to get the treadmill going. Slow. She start to go now. The treadmill going and the clothes spinning. This time now I building up speed. I running now. I running. The clothes spinning fast now.
You're flying now.
Yes, and so was the clothes. You would have thought he had enough sense to screw the thing down, eh?
The clothes going?
I see where they lying yet.
So what you gonna do?
Go back to Superwash where I should have gone in the first beginning.
Superwash. They washes your presses and cleans you 24/7.
I've been at my Penny the other day, and Penny said, Lampkin, you know I really don't like to brag, but when I look at this showroom, I realize this is the best around. What do you say? I say, your modesty is mind-blowing. The lighting in Pendy's showroom is amazingly even and bright. It really allows you to see the tiles, whether they be ceramic, porcelain, marble, quartz, or granite. Pendy's displays allow you to see the product, uncluttered by a gazillion pieces. If you'd like to see clearly what you plan to walk on for the rest of your life, may I suggest you visit Pender Tile on Prince Charles Drive.
It's a perfect day to enjoy the wonderful specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow Spaghetti and Meatballs, 15 ounce, 99 cents. Rainbow Tuna, 5 ounce, 69 cents. Super Value Purified or Alkaline Water, 5-gallon size, $4.99. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, 99 cents per pound. Green cabbages, 79 cents per pound. Working hard every day to keep your prices down. That's Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Fast, reliable, and resilient, undeniably the best. The Cable Bahamas Group of Companies. We keep our customers informed and connected, especially in times of crisis. We believe in Bahamians. They build, own, and manage our world-class network. We invest in our people and our network to guarantee superior technology, superior service. We care about our employees, customers, and country. That's who we are. Thank you for letting our family keep you connected to yours.
This traffic.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:21, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got upper-level troughing along with tropical moisture that continues to support the weather across the country, while high pressure will generate gentle to fresh breezes over the islands. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, we are looking at partly cloudy to cloudy conditions, hot and humid, with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Gusty winds and higher seas expected during showers and thunderstorms. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, hot, and breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm with isolated showers or a thunderstorm tonight. Smallcraft caution continues. For boaters and residents, everyone being advised to be alert for possible funnel cloud activity during showers and thunderstorms, and swimmers in the central and southeast Bahamas should be alert for possible rip currents along east and southeast coast beaches. And everybody's being advised to limit outdoor activity and remain hydrated during triple-digit heat indices. It's going to be another hot one today indeed. Highs getting up to around 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. But the heat index will make it feel like 103 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, tropical moisture enhanced by an upper-level trough will slowly dissipate, leaving the high-pressure ridge to dominate the weather across the area into the weekend. So for tomorrow, Friday, look for variably cloudy and hot conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms in the northwest and central Bahamas, mostly sunny and hot with isolated showers or a thunderstorm in the southeast Bahamas. Saturday, partly to mostly sunny with isolated showers and thunderstorms, hot and humid in the northwest Bahamas, hot and breezy in the central and southeastern islands. In the tropics, we're watching a tropical wave that has a 50% chance of development during the next 5 days. It's expected to move off the West African coast later today. There's also another tropical wave with about a 20% chance of development during the next 5 days. It's likely to move westward at 10 to 15 miles per hour over the central tropical Atlantic. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And in your look at traffic, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic this morning, we've got Mile Butler Highway, heavy traffic just north of Fire Trail in the northbound lanes heading towards Tonic Williams Darling Highway. Gladstone Road also busy for you the closer you get in the northbound lane to John F. Kennedy Drive. Blue Hill Road. As you get over that hill northbound, just north of Soldier Road, you'll be seeing the traffic meeting you as you head towards Independence Drive. And we're seeing just pockets along Carmichael Road. Not looking too bad at this hour so far. And elsewhere on the island, just at the major intersections, we'll be seeing some of that traffic as you wait in line, especially at East-West Highway and Robinson Road and Marathon Road northbound as you approach the roundabout with Wolf Road, pockets along Wolf Road as well. That's a real-time traffic and your morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
Say we did it, yes we did it. We were put to the test, so we brought out our best. Man, we did it, yes we did it. Bahamas, we won the gold, now we're the best in the world. You think it's a bird? No. Is it a plane? No. Who that? Bahamas, Golden Boys, man, Bahamas gonna get. Well, is it Demetrius? Yes, right. Ramon? Yes, right. Michael? Yes, right.
All right, so now we're going to have to add Stevie to that list for that song, or get a new song or new songs for Stephen Gardiner, who is the latest gold medal winner for the Bahamas, winning the 400 meters decisively. I mean, it wasn't close. He definitely won it. And we are very, very, very proud of him. Stephen Gardiner, despite the big T-shirt a few days ago, coming back with the proper attire to win it all. And this is amazing. This is amazing. I think my voice is coming back now. Dwight Strachan here, along with Laverne Gardner. Darrell Taylor, give us just a couple minutes to celebrate this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Laverne, you caught yourself. How you doing?
Listen, I am elated. I am ecstatic. I am so happy for Stephen. But you know what, Dwight? I knew it was gold once I saw that he brought his shirt.
Uh-oh.
I was like, okay. This is a gold medal here.
Great stuff. And this is the best we could. Hey. And the Americans, they're all in their feelings. They were shut out of the medals for the 400. And Karani James, who I think was the defending gold medal, or did he not do Rio? Which one was it? Anyway, he's won before, but he came third despite having a very challenging past few years. And I think it was Colombia second. So Bahamas out there in front, way out there in front. And, great stuff for Stephen Gardiner. The time, 43.85. 43.85. So that's great stuff there. Like I said, we got a couple minutes because we got to get back with Darrell. But, folks, if you want to say something really quick, call in right now. 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. This is a great moment. And can you imagine tomorrow morning with Shanae Miller-Uibo? Could it be? Yes, it's going to be, right? We got to speak it into existence. It's going to be another gold. The Bahamas dominating the 400 meters. I'm predicting it now, right? Gold medal for her as well. We will have won the Olympics. Right? Who cares what anybody else
As far as we're concerned,
absolutely. Absolutely. We did it. All right, let's hear what you have to say, folks. Again, call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Let's get some of your text messages in here. This one says, thank God for Stephen Gardiner. I know... what? Okay, you people are really weird. What? Where are you going with the second part of the text? Oh man. Okay.
This is a shining moment for Stephen Gardiner, and this is a shining moment for the Bahamas. And let me tell you something. I'm not here for these texts, for these backhanded compliments, the milk snide innuendos. Not right now.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, this person here. Yay, Bahamas, gold. Okay, let's hear what the callers have to say. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Glenn.
Hi, good morning.
Man, I'm elated. Goosebumps.
Yes.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Wonderful, man. I mean, enthusiasm going to bed. I totally forgot that I was actually to work.
You weren't the only one.
It was fascinating. I thank God. for the strength and tenacity and the will, because Mars Island to come from there and to go through what you've gone through and it just shows you if you trust in him, he shall deliver.
Yeah.
And I mean God, that is. But Stevie
Absolutely.
Gardner, our son of the soil, he represented us well this morning.
Very much so.
I'm sure Shani is going to do her best too. But as a people, let's rejoice.
Yes.
Because we are better in mourning and with the COVID and all that type of stuff. This is a shining moment for us to lift us up.
Yeah,
God
absolutely.
never forgets us. He always delivers.
Yeah.
Morning, Glenn, once again, let's celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Definitely right. It's been a lot of sadness, a lot of gloom and doom over the past 2 years, but this makes you feel pretty good. Feel pretty good. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. There are moments like these that make you feel so proud to be a Bahamian. In fact, these are moments that if tears didn't come to your eyes, chances are you might reconsider whether you are a true Bahamian, because it's such a powerful feeling, even far away on the other side of the world, man. Here it is. Bahamians are succeeding. And you know what? We won the Olympics right away. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. This one says here, Dwight and Laverne, congratulations to Stephen Gardiner. We finally struck gold, and Shawnee hasn't even run her finals as yet, so Abaco strong 242. Yeah, it's just one of two coming. One of two, definitely.
One down and one more to go.
That's right. So great stuff. All right, so continue to send in those tributes, and they're going to be hearing about this all day long, I am sure. All right, so let's get back to what we've been discussing, your rights during marriage and what happens if things don't go that way. A lot of people don't like to think about that stuff, Darrell Taylor. And as I said earlier, the prenup is a dirty word. In fact, are they allowed here? Can you do it? Do you have to have a special permission? What does it take to have a prenuptial agreement here in the Bahamas?
Well, Dwight, let me also add my congratulations. I could tell you I was really over the top watching that race. It was awesome. I mean, we just can't pass it just like that.
That's crazy.
It was an awesome race. Congratulations to him, his team, everyone that, contributed to it, because there's a whole lot of people behind that one person running there. And I mean, oh God, that was awesome to watch. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
It almost seems like what we're talking about pales in comparison. But we're here, and so we might as well just continue with it.
Well, we could tie it in. We could say if you've won lots from your Olympic events and, you got a lot before you got married. Right? There you go.
There you go.
What do you do?
How to protect your gold medal in your marriage.
Exactly.
I don't know that the medal itself will be a consideration, but who knows? But the question you asked in relation to the prenuptial agreement, currently it's not recognized per se, but I don't see any reason why the courts may not uphold a contract that you have prior to the marriage, where you both, acquire these assets prior to it, and you say, look, in the event, God forbid, something happens, this is how we want to distribute what we've worked together for. So maybe in an instance like that, and I've heard judges in matters that I've been in, one particular judge, he sits on the Court of Appeal, and he is very amenable to the prenuptial agreement. But as it stands now, no, not in that form, but I see no reason why we can't put it to the test. In fact, this judgment here, the Chisholm and Chisholm judgment, highlights something that perhaps people may not have been as clear on as before, because the Court of Appeal states that it is not the law that the assets you acquired before marriage cannot be put into the pot when you're dealing with the distribution or dissolution of marriage and the distribution of the assets after that. So it obviously means that, for clarity, they're stating that it is not the law, which means that, yes, you can consider these things. I also wanted to say that I said before the break that the wife in this instance did not actually get the property or the interest in it, but she did derive a benefit because the fact that they looked at his interest in the assets in the company and say, look, you're in a better financial position than the wife is. Because of that, you live off your assets that you worked for before you met her and let her have this particular asset. In this case, the courts awarded her they had a home in Auckland which had a business, like a bone fishing lodge and, I guess shops or whatever is attached to it. What the husband appealed was that should have been the only asset that the court considered because that is the asset they developed together in the marriage, which I guess it does have its merits, and that's what they normally do. What have you acquired during the marriage? All right, what are the things that you both contributed to during this marriage? But when the court looked at his assets in the company, it really departed from that particular stance that we're looking at what you acquired together in the marriage. It went further because it went into a company. And like I said earlier, people usually use the company, that vehicle of a company, to protect their assets from situations like this. All right? There are other ways that you can alienate your assets that you acquired before the marriage. And I'll just give you a few because I think that's what most people really would want to find out. Yeah, that happened in their case, but how can I protect what I've worked for and acquired before I married this person? Excuse me. One of the main ways, and I'd say that this is probably the best way that you can protect your assets or alienate your property is not to get married. If you do not want to share, then perhaps you may want to reconsider if marriage is for you. Because the very nature of a marriage is, and this is a loose goat, speaking to the Thai goats, but you share, you two become one. So inherent in that is you're prepared to share what you have. I mean, it just seems logical to me that that's what you intend to do. You want to share whatever assets, whether you had it before, you acquired it during. It says to me that that's what you want to do. You want to share whatever you have with the person you're with. So the safest and most, I guess, would say foul-proof way, and one way that will guarantee that you protect your assets is don't get married. It's as simple as that. Then you still can use, and I'm not trying to be funny, but that's exactly what, I mean, you still can use that limited liability company. It is not in every case that the court may pierce the corporate veil by going behind the company, the limited liability company, and do that. In the judgment itself, it talks about the fact that this marriage here, and like I said, there are other factors that are at play, was a 20-year marriage. So it's a long-standing relationship. We talked about the age factor, which is a serious consideration, the ability to have income earning capacity and things like that. But then you also look at the duration of the marriage. This is a 20-year marriage. Also, you look at, in this particular case, because each case then must turn on its own facts. You know what I mean? Your facts may be different from this case. In this case, the wife, in her affidavit, talked about the contribution she made to those very same assets that he had put in that company. She helped to develop it, and she assisted, but this was uncontested in the court, so I'm going based on that fact, that she worked very hard for the 20 years to develop those very same assets. And in addition to that, she used with whatever monies that she had, all right, to develop one of the properties in particular, one of the assets he had. She gave all that she had, and, I guess you could call it the widow's mite. She gave, even though it may not have been as significant a financial contribution as his, she gave all her entire savings, about $30,000, to develop one of the assets. So that's why I'm saying to you, at first blush, this judgment looks a certain way, and you get up in arms like, what? You mean I can't protect my property? But you have to look at the facts to see why it is they made the decision they made.
Okay, I have so many questions based on what you just said. So do you think, you said duration matters. If it had been 1 year, would that have made a difference? 1 year?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Dwight, even in owning property, if you purchase a house, you have it for 1 year. You don't even have sufficient equity in that.
But what if I
property.
did put all of my life savings in that during that 1 year? I did contribute.
Now that may be, see, because that's a direct financial contribution. So the courts will look at that. You see, because what we were looking at in terms of her interest is sweat equity.
Right.
She's saying that I put a whole lot into this. The $30,000 is something that's direct. It's a direct financial contribution. But the other factors, she's saying, look, I wrote most of the sermons. I was his secretary. I was the administrator of this. I dealt with all of the rental properties. I dealt with all of these things. And so you understand? Why shouldn't it be considered when now we are going our separate ways? So what the courts did, and they granted her, like I said, the lodge in Acklands. He had other properties like acres of land elsewhere and apartments here and there. He had other stuff, other assets that he had put in the company. Obviously, there are other shareholders in the company that would be affected, but it only related to his benefit that he would derive from that company. Okay? And it wasn't that she was getting that benefit per se, but they took it into consideration when they said, look, this 70-year-old woman needs something to sustain her.
Okay, that was going to be my other question. So what if she had been independently wealthy? Do you think that changes?
Absolutely.
That makes a big difference.
See, because absolutely.
Even
because
though I put money into this, and even though I helped you develop what we've done since the marriage, but I do have money, I'm fine. I still shouldn't get a piece of that?
Well, now, there's another factor that was at play in this as well. She did have her assets. She had some assets, maybe not as much as he did, but she did have some assets prior to the marriage as well. So he didn't get a benefit in her asset, and she didn't get a benefit in his assets. What they did was consider his income from this company, all right? And said, look, you are in a better financial position than she is. And so we are going to consider that fact and give her this. They awarded her that as well as $30,000, $8,000 of which was to purchase a vehicle and $25,000 was to renovate the lodge in Acklands. Now, it does appear to me that perhaps in some ways, the person who is more financially, I guess, successful seems to be punished in these instances because your success then now becomes a factor, a success that you perhaps would have had before you met this person and before you married them, certainly, is at play when it comes to the division of the matrimonial property. Okay?
Right.
So it does appear that, and so I'll get back to, on that note, to some of the ways that you can still alienate or protect your assets.
All right, before you do that, I want to ask you, so what if you really don't know? You had no idea about the asset, but after the divorce, you come to find out that this was going on. You didn't contribute, but you find out that there was this whole other world and there was a lot of money over there. But you were the supportive spouse and you did everything you're supposed to do and more than you should. But that was going on. Do you have any claim at all to that?
You're saying that you became aware of it like during the proceedings?
Yes. Yes, during the proceedings.
Well, again, no, I don't see them bringing that in because there is, and I am going to segue right back into that one way. One of the ways that you can alienate your assets is a trust. And in some instances, the courts actually said in another case, which was quoted in this case, Thomas and Thomas, that they don't necessarily they will not use their discretion to affect things like a trust, because a trust is discretionary. You don't necessarily, you may derive a benefit from it. You understand? You may have maybe getting monies from, your great-grandfather who was wealthy and had all of this money. He set up a trust, and as such, the trust or the settler of it doesn't get any benefit. So you could set up a trust with your own property, and certainly the courts have said that they will not exercise their discretion to fool with that. So if you're talking about an inheritance or a windfall or something like that that you became aware of during that, then, I don't see them including that. That wasn't even in contemplation during the marriage or before the marriage. Mm-hmm. So how then can it form a part of, I guess that's the topical question, of the matrimonial assets when none of you have any knowledge of it?
Okay. All right.
You see, I don't see them, because that would be the argument I would advance. This isn't something that was even in contemplation at the time. This is something that we just found out.
All right, so you're going to tell us how to protect your assets. Let's do that right after this break. This feels sinister, but I support it.
It doesn't sit well, does it?
It's kind of weird.
Where I felt. But it seems like oil and water. It don't make no seem like it's a thing. Because, we'll discuss it.
Yeah, we'll discuss it after the break. This is Morning Blend on Gardiner Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Ramon, yes, right. Michael, yes, right. Fireman Chris Brown, yes, right. Bohemian and proud, man, we did it again. Gold. Going to the world, Bohemians are champions. Gold. History's been written and a story's been told. Gold. Time for celebration, cause Bahamas gone gold. Bringing the gold. We bringing the gold. The golden boys are bringing the gold.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
It's so summer with Esso, and that's why we're giving away thousands of dollars in fuel, food, and other fun prizes every week. Simply fuel up with $25 or more. Enter using your receipt, and you could be a winner this summer with Esso. Terms and conditions apply. Visit bettergasmileage.com/its-so-summer or our Facebook page for details. Promotion ends August 29th, 2021. It's fun! Food, fuel, and other great prizes every week. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
There's only one way to have a better morning. How? Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage egg and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get-a-loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
Are you ready for effortless hurricane protection? Then you need to get to know LA Impact Windows and Doors. Forget the plywood and get the lowest and affordable prices on hurricane windows and doors for all your residential and commercial projects. You can feel safe and secure with LA Impact Windows and Doors. Located in the Southland Shopping Center, East Street South. LA Impact Windows and Doors. Impacting your views. Call 322-3667 or 829-7822.
Shop early for Janae's Mix and Match specials. Get all your school uniforms, neckties, socks, shorts, character towels, raincoats, umbrellas, colorful backpacks, underclothes, and tights. Mix and match 4 school shirts, pre-monogrammed or regular, and get one free. Yes, free. Mix and match 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, and get the third one 50% off. Janae's COVID-19 Customer Recovery Assistance. Relaxed restrictions, allowing mix and match. WhatsApp 817-3295 or go online at www.janaes.com.
This is Gardiner Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Say we did it. Yes, we did it. We were put to the test, so we brought out our best. Man, we did it. Yes, we did it. Bahamas, we won the gold. Now we're the best in the world. You think it's a bird? No. Is it a plane? No. Who that? Bahamas golden boys, man. Bahamas gonna get. Well, is it Demetrius? Yes, right. Ramon? Yes, right. Michael? Yes, right. Fireman Chris Strong? Yes, right. Bahamian and proud, man, we did it again. Gold. Going to the world, Bahamians are champions. Gold. History's been written and a story's been told. Gold. Time for celebration, cause Bahamas gone gold. Bringing the gold. We bringing the gold. The golden boys are bringing the gold. We bringing the gold.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Gardiner Radio 96.9. We're doing 2 things at the same time. We're celebrating Stephen Gardiner's victory, winning gold in the 400 meters final at the Olympics in Tokyo. And we are talking with Darrell Taylor, our in-house attorney here. She's talking about, what do we call this? Because it's more than prenups, it's more than your rights after the dissolution of marriage. It's so many different things going on here. But anyway, we're talking about that. What are you protecting your assets, basically?
Yeah, you can do that. We can call it that. But what the general heading is, as it relates to this type of information, as it relates to divorce, is ancillary matters. Meaning, well, divorce has 2 parts. The first part is between the parties, the husband, the wife, and so when you file for a divorce, you're dealing with that initially. You're dealing with that first aspect, what happened in that relationship, and in this jurisdiction, it's a fault-based one, so you have to really find fault with the person, which I think needs to change at this stage. Desperately. Because it's definitely not helpful to anyone to have to go and find fault, because people put so much things in any event. It's a fault-based jurisdiction, so you have to...
Well, why haven't we done that yet? What's the issue? What's the reason for this? Who would we blame for that? Is that our legislators?
We can blame all of us.
Yeah?
We can blame legislators, we can blame the lawyers, we can blame persons who are not prepared to advance that. We can blame the fact that Parliament's agenda in tabling the legislation may not be concerned with things like this. There's so many factors that are at play, but if we have the will, if we want to, we can do it. Like with most things, if you're not affected by it, you generally tend not to, it's not important to you.
Yeah.
But at this stage, and then too, you have the church where, marriage is still sacrosanct and they are not advocating for divorce. And so when you advance this type of irretrievable breakdown of the marriage, or, you know what I mean? They're like, no, you will be eroding the very sanctity of that relationship, things like that. Because then now it's easier to get one. So you could, you know what I mean? You don't have
irreconcilable differences could be so casual, I guess, right?
And so you have all of these factors that come to bear when you look at trying to change a piece of legislation such as that. So, but it doesn't do any good. It really doesn't, to try and tear someone else apart in black and white.
Right.
It doesn't sit well with most people, but that is where we're at, and we need to change it. So that's the first part of the divorce between the two parties. And the second part is where you deal with the ancillary matters, things like this, the distribution of the property, as well as dealing with the maintenance of the children or any other dependents, because, you know, there may be persons who they may not be considered a child of a marriage, but they are a dependent. They may have a disability, and those persons must be provided for as well.
Mm-hmm.
So ancillary matters deal with the second half, and sometimes the second half of the divorce takes up so much more time and effort because people are now fighting for things. That's what this is. You know what I mean? It sounds bad, but that's what it is. It's like, you know what? I'm so angry and hurt at you. I don't want you to have 1 cent. It's fine when everything is working between us. You can share whatever I have, and we're happy, and, you know, we're going along. So it's good. You can share whatever I have. But the minute now things break down, I don't want you to have a pencil or pen. Wow. Turn that light off. You don't pay no light bill in here. That shoes I buy is that type of, it becomes extremely petty.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where you have the biggest fight when it comes to, especially if one party has a substantial amount of assets. You know, they almost feel in many instances like, you know what, I caused you to be like this, which is true, which is why the courts say, fairness, you have caused me to move up to this privileged lifestyle. And so you can't just drop me like that, especially after a lengthy marriage, and expect me to go back to where? Mm-hmm. And how? To living before, the way I lived before we were married. And some people are of the view that, yes, you go, but then again, the longevity of the marriage will come into play. The contributions, direct or indirect contributions that you have made to this family, this marriage, comes into play. You can't say you take me up off a chapel and Market Street selling peanut water and Gatorade. We've been married for 20 odd years, and then you want me to go back to that? How you figure that?
That's oddly specific, but okay.
Well, I have a question. Let's say that you had your own assets that you brought into the marriage prior to the marriage, but you never considered trying to protect those things. But now you're in the marriage. Let's say you're in 15, 20 years, and now you're thinking, should I protect them at this point? Is that even possible?
You can, but again, what will happen if, God forbid, your marriage breaks down? The courts will still look at that. They will say, okay, yeah, you decided to protect it 15 years in, but we're going to look at what happened from year 1 to 15. So they will look at it. And in this instance, you see, which is why people consider it to be draconian. You are pulling things from outside of a relationship that in most persons' minds shouldn't be in there. All right? In that, because I mean, seriously, you worked so hard, blood, sweat, tears. This person don't even know from whence you got $15, who you had to borrow from your cousin when things were low in your business. You borrowed $200 from your sister just to make payroll. And suddenly now, it's not sudden, but you're married to this person who you've agreed to share your life with, better or worse, and you see where the marriage just goes awry, and suddenly all of what you worked for the years before you met this person, you now have to, the courts now consider that. How is that fair on you? So that's why I'm saying the view is that the more successful you are punished for it if the marriage goes awry, because the courts will look at that. They have shown you that in this case. But they don't just do it willy-nilly. In the case itself, it shows why. It says, look, this marriage isn't a short marriage. After a while, those things that you acquired before become assets that you use. So they're like merged into the marriage. This spouse is helping you develop it. So now you just want to say, oh, because the years before I met you, you can't help it. But you spent 20 odd years helping them with this asset. You must be able to derive something from it.
Okay, we're running out of time. I want you to give your recommendations on how you can protect your assets. But before we do, we've got a couple questions here. I really want you to answer these. Someone says, for clarification, what if instead of him turning over the assets before marriage to a company, he turned it over to a trust. I think you did mention that already. Would that trust go unchallenged? That's different from someone untrusting to you, like the example. Yeah. Okay. So what do you say about that?
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's why I said
trust,
one of the
yeah.
ways is through a trust, especially a purpose trust, like a discretionary family trust. You can do that, and the courts have said in the case of Thomas and Thomas, which is quoted in that case, that they will not exercise their discretion to fool with that because it's discretionary. Some years you may get something from a trust, some years you may not. You see what I mean? So it depends on that. And so that's the vehicle there. A trust vehicle is one that they may not delve into. So that's a really good way to do it. But trusts are expensive instruments.
Right.
They're very expensive to create and also maintain because you have to work it. But again, I would advise you to speak to a lawyer about it. And if you want to develop, but a trust is a good way. You could agree to, like I said, this is another way to alienate or protect your assets. You could agree. You can actually agree. And I believe the courts will uphold it. This is how we want things to go. You could transfer the title to your child or children as a joint tenant where both of you own it together. I won't suggest you hand it over to your children because, teeth and tongue must fall out and them children must do some funny things. So,
wow.
But you could do that. But if you can speak to a lawyer, or you can speak, if you're serious about it, you can sit down and you tell them what you want to do.
Okay.
So I think I've given you about 6. You don't get married. Limited liability company.
The first one's important.
You could sell. Okay, I don't think I meant. You could sell your assets prior to the marriage and say, you know what? All right, I can sell my house, car, and things like that. We can start over. We can start fresh together. So whatever we have, we get it together.
Well, what about the money you got from that? The money you got from those things?
Right, you could use some of it, you see what I mean, to assist. But remember now, the assets are, the money, yes, but then, they will look at it as substantial. I mean, they could look at it. You could invest it in so many different other things. But I'm just saying, this is one way that you can do it. You could sell your stuff and both of you merge whatever you have together, a salary from Wendy's and yours from selling 4 properties in Life at Key. You all could decide to sell and then come together, start afresh, and everybody's invested.
You are very shady. You are very shady. What about, this was asking about the children, his children. Won't his children be at a disadvantage?
No, it was limited to his interests, his benefit from it. So their interest is still protected. They are shareholders in that company and they get a certain, percentage based on whatever their articles of association have, So it would be based on that. So let's say he was entitled to 10%. Whatever the courts considered was based on his 10%, not their percentage. Understand?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
This question asks about debt as well. Debt that you acquire, is that evenly distributed?
Yes.
It is.
It is. It's shared. You have to, because sometimes the couple may have a credit card and the debt associated with it. In some instances, is shared equally. Yes, so you share the benefit and the burden of the marriage when it, But then again, they look at the financial ability of the parties in the marriage. And to me, the most uneven thing is if you are successful, it seems like you're punished for your success prior to it. You see, that's how it appears to me. But they do look at that, and it's distributed.
Yeah, we've got about a minute left. But this person's asking, what happens if the wife has the asset? Can the husband?
Excellent question.
Be entitled?
Because I am of the view, along with one of my colleagues, and we had this debate, that if the roles were reversed, I do not know if this decision would have been made the way it was.
Wow.
I do not think so. But because the wife was in the weaker position here, I believe maybe that had some bearing on it. It doesn't say so in the case, but just from my experience, usually when the man is in a greater financial position, then he seems to get hit harder. That's just my view. But They do. I do have some friends as well who were in a greater financial position and they bore the heavier burden. But I think perhaps if the roles were reversed, maybe the decision would be different. But as the principle stands now, it doesn't have a gender attached to it. So it could be male or female. But I'm inclined to believe that if the roles were reversed, the decision may have been a little different. That's just my view.
That's very interesting. Yeah. So that means this question here, question is not needed because they're saying, well, I only have one question. What's the name of the wife's lawyer in this case? Because I got to keep that lawyer's name in my back pocket just in case. But you're saying it doesn't matter.
Find the case and go and do that, but it's the law.
It's the law.
But it is the lawyer too. I must say that. But it's also what the law says. You understand? And it does pay to have people who say they want a bulldog. Oh gosh, divorces are just so acrimonious, man. But sometimes if you have someone who is so wrapped up in your case, they lose objectivity. So you still need someone who's able to cull the law for you. But the names of the attorneys are in the case itself, and I can cite the case if you want. You can go on the website, the Court of Appeal website, and look for Julius Chisholm versus Ophelia Chisholm. I thought it's strange that they gave the person's name because they usually just put a letter, but it's case number 127 of 2020. It's on the Court of Appeal website.
Yeah.
So you can look and you'll be able to see the names of the lawyers in the case itself.
Okay. Darrell Taylor, always a pleasure. Always a great discussion. Thank you so much as usual. We really appreciate talking with you this morning.
You're welcome.
All right. And Laverne and I are going to be back with Morning Blend Business. We continue our discussion with Debbie Deal from yesterday about the energy sector in the country today and in the future. Today, what you as consumers need to do to protect yourself and to be ready for whatever comes your way over the next few years. We're going to get into that right after the news headlines. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Gardiner Radio. Morning Blend Business next.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The York family's COVID nightmare started in mid-July when a series of COVID tests confirmed that 5 members of the family had the virus. Anthony York says her 50-year-old mother, Carolyn York, died at her home on July 19th.
She would give you the shirt off of her back if it's her last. She would feed you out of her pot.
That day would only get worse. Her 20-year-old brother, Abishai York, and her 27-year-old sister, Arnika York, were also infected and required medical attention.
When I reached there, I talked to him. I was like, "You okay?" He's like, "Yeah, he okay or whatever."
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. It was gold for Stephen Gardiner at the Tokyo Olympics this morning as he ran away from the field in the 400 meters to clinch first place. He did it in a winning time of 43.85 seconds. Shanae Miller-Weibo is hoping to make that 2 gold medals when she competes in the women's 400 meters tomorrow. In other news, the Ministry of Health has confirmed that several clusters of COVID infection were identified during the month of July. Without going into specifics, the ministry revealed those clusters were linked to workplaces, construction sites, and other social and communal gatherings. It reminded that private gatherings are currently restricted to no more than 5 persons who must all be vaccinated. There were 78 new COVID infections recorded Tuesday. Hospitalizations are now at 109. Well, the vaccine hesitancy persisting, infectious disease specialist Dr. Nakia Forbes says 97 to 98% of people who are hospitalized for COVID-19 in this country are unvaccinated. The remaining, roughly 2%, she said, had only 1 dose of a vaccine.
Health officials have noticed the same trend with COVID-related deaths. But with the CDC documenting some breakthrough infections in America among fully vaccinated persons, Forbes says it's clear both vaccinations and adherence to the public health protocols are necessary to end this pandemic. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
Everything that you do, so you don't ever have to experience the unimaginable pain my family has felt.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I am Jared Higgs.
Wait, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, wait, just a hard day, wait.
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and gritsy.
We need to start joking with everything, you know. This serious, boy, this real serious, boy.
Wait, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us, boy, one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet this boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life and junk, you know.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white there, you know.
But ain't nobody can know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Crack Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you. And your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Law Adjusters.
Final look at traffic this morning and a lower than usual turnout for the traffic all morning long. And it's quite obvious across the island. However, the southwest region always the heaviest with the turnout in the morning times. A bit slow this morning though. Nevertheless, the Malabala Highway, it is still stacked. Folks familiar with the traffic level know that even what's there now is lower than usual standards at this time of the morning. But they do have delays leaving that thoroughfare and getting out onto Tony's Million Dollar Highway. Traffic line is less than usual at this hour, getting out of Gladstone Road as well, and onto JFK. And you can only evaluate that in both cases, the extensive traffic lines are moving a bit faster due to lower than usual turnout on the main corridors like JFK and Tony's Million Dollar. Carmichael Road traffic getting out there onto Blue Hill Road is minor at this point compared to other mornings, but a slight delay at the intersection there, getting out onto Blue Hill Road. Then there's getting over the hill on Blue Hill Road from the south, having that familiar minor slower, but due to the low traffic count getting through the $20 million roundabout below, it is moving much faster. It's been another slow morning for traffic thus far. A lower than usual turnout is happening out here. This National Traffic Report service of Garden of Eden, where you can enjoy stew or boiled fish, chicken, pig feet, tuna, or corned beef, sheep tongue, or sauce, just the way you like it. Delicious Bahamian breakfast every Thursday through Sunday morning from the Garden of Eden in Eastwood. Breakfast continues until 3 each afternoon, so call now and order and get easy pickup directions at 819-5574. That's 819-5574. Richard Ryan Sky look at traffic in real time. I'm VANN.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. A South Florida hospital chain, Memorial Healthcare, is suspending elective surgeries and putting beds in conference rooms, an auditorium, and a cafeteria as many more patients seek treatment for COVID-19. Here's our Sagar Magani on Florida's governor's position on the COVID outbreak and the back and forth between him and President Biden.
Here at the White House this week, the president urged Ron DeSantis and other governors to help fight the pandemic.
But you aren't going to help, at least get out of the way.
DeSantis' response?
If you are trying to lock people down, I am standing in your way.
Accusing the president of trying to strip parental rights by forcing kids to wear masks in schools. DeSantis has ordered school districts not to mandate masks. 2 Florida school boards are now defying the ban. Sagar Magani at the White House.
And I'm Rita Foley.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, August 5th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, along with Laverne Gardiner. And this morning we continue our conversation from yesterday with wonderful Debbie Deal. She's the Director of Energy and Environment with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation. Yesterday we were talking about energy today and in the future, looking at the power company, mainly the primary power company in the country. And we know we have more than one. But there are many challenges. But today we want to talk about what we can do as consumers to prepare ourselves for the challenges that we're facing right now and for the future. Debbie, thank you so much for agreeing to come back.
You're welcome. It's always great to be here. And it's always great to be able to talk about my passion, which was my passion prior to even becoming the Director of Energy and Environment. So I'm grateful for that.
It's wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so we left off yesterday. We had a great conversation, but a lot more to talk about. And so, it is scary, as it seems that we're just making it up as we go along. It seems that way when it comes to energy in the country. I mean, they say there's a plan, but it just seems we've heard this before, and yet here we are at the same stage. So seeing as that is the environment that we're in, what do we as consumers do to make it through this challenging period and again to 5-10 years down the road?
Well, that's a great segue into what I wanted to discuss today. The same situation that we're in now with energy, not knowing when it's going to go off and how long it's going to go off for. And like Monday, I think Tuesday there was a notice on the from BPL saying due to inclement weather, these areas were out. And we had a thunderstorm. So that's scary. But because of this...
But it happens on sunny days as well.
It happens on sunny days, like this morning. There's a couple on the community that I'm on with BPL, and the couple of people are saying, what's going on?
Mine this morning, too.
Oh, my goodness. So what happened was I decided that, with our group, with our committee, that what we would do is we would go to IDB and get a loan or get a grant to educate people on conservation of energy and how conservation of energy is the lead-in to getting solar as your energy source, because you need to reduce your consumption to be able to really, blend in solar easily. Otherwise, you're going to end up having to buy the lot next door to put panels in because you're wasting energy, and there's no need to do that. So we did go, and I wanted to do this program where we would create an app, and the app would be questions on the Bahamas and on energy and that kind of thing, and tips on how to reduce your energy costs, and the prizes that you would get, which was the bulk of the grant that we wanted, would have been in denominations of 5, 10, and 20, just like phone cards, right? And those would be applied. You'd be able to apply those to your BPL bill, right? Which I thought was a great concept to earn money for BPL for your bill, and also learn about it, right? And then the other part of it was to create videos. Well, IDB decided that it was they would get more traction with the videos because they could be sent globally than it would be to do an isolated app on our phone here that would really only be good for us to do, and that kind of thing. And it was very expensive because, a year worth of prize is like $150,000. So we created, thanks to a friend of mine who's a videographer, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody kind of knows him. So I mean, he was grateful enough I was grateful enough to get him to be on board to do these for us. It took us maybe 6-8 months to do them, and we created 12. And each one of them tells you what the initiative is. There's 2 testimonials. There are different things on. There's solar. There's working on landlords and rentals, air conditioning, refrigeration, ghost thieves, insulation. Each one is separate, and it's not going. Each one is a minute, so it's not going to take much of your life to actually go through all 12 of them. The only one that's longer is the one with my church, New Providence Community Church, which discusses how much money they saved by switching out all their light bulbs to LED. And it's been really a successful project that we've done, and we have been able to share them with everybody. So those are the kind of things that we as a people need to do to save us, first of all, to save us money, right? Second of all, to get rid of toxic materials in our homes, which are the CFL bulbs, which I'll discuss a little bit later with regard to what another project that we're doing with those. And also, if you were to contact a company that does, supplies and installs solar products for you. Sorry, my mouth is all
It's early. It's still
all
early.
twisty
Yeah.
up. The first thing that they're going to do is they're going to walk around your house and see where you're bleeding energy, right? And we all do.
Yep.
We all have things like how many phone chargers do you need, and do they all have to be plugged in at the same time? There's silly little things, that we have plugged in that we don't necessarily need, and people who don't really understand the energy concept of the power comes in at the meter box, right? It comes into the meter, and from there it goes to the panel in your house, or panels, depending on what you have. And then each one of those breakers, if they're on, that means power goes from them to whatever the unit is, whether it be like the ceiling light that we have here, the box that's in the J box that's in the ceiling, the wall plug, the air conditioning unit, the stove, the microwave, whatever. It'll go to the outlet that it goes to. And then when you turn on that, then the power goes from there into the unit. So if you have a bunch of lamps that are plugged into the wall, power is going to go right to them. And if somebody doesn't believe me, just take a pair of scissors, try to cut the cord when it's plugged in, and see if you do or do not get power.
Don't do that.
No,
Right.
I know. But what I'm saying is, I've
yeah.
had people say to me, "Oh, that's so silly. It's off. How
Right.
could there be?" Well, follow the trail of cookie crumbs, right? That's basically where it goes to. So there's things that you can actually do when you're, let's say, if you're a new builder, and there's things that you can do with your house if you're renovating, and there's things that you can do with your house just out of walking around and saying, yeah, I don't really need to have this, or if you have air conditioning units and you're lucky enough to do so, but you may not use them in the winter, turn the breaker off. Why be pulling 20 amps if you don't need to?
Right.
You know what I mean? So those are the kind of things that that you can actually do as a household or even as a business. The greatest thing that you can do is switching your light bulbs to LED. That is, I'll give you the church's example. We did what do you call it? We had an opportunity for everybody to actually buy a light bulb. And then they had lists, right? Adopt a light bulb. And then you had a list of whatever it was. There was some light bulbs that were, $4, some were $30, whatever. And so you just tick your name off it, and you'd pay to have that one done. It took about a year. We did inside and outside of the church, and we did even the lights in the actual area where where we have it's actually a gymnasium that is also used as a church.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And their electricity bill went from $7,000 a month to $2,000.
Wow.
$60,000 a year savings. That you
remarkable.
can't speak louder
Yeah.
to me than by telling me a story like that. And there's many. I've had people come up to me who've just listened on the show and said, well, I did what you said, and my electricity bill went down, blah, blah, right? So, and there's other things. One thing I'd like to point out first is that people always, it's good to lower your rate, but it's also good to protect everything in your home, right? And one thing that is essential that BPL will constantly say to you, but I think most of us don't really listen, not because it's BPL, because it's not a sexy topic. They'll say that so-and-so's appliances were not damaged by a BPL going out or that type of thing. It was done because there was no ground rod, right? A ground rod is essential. It's when you are building your home, when you're building home, or if you're even doing an addition like a cottage or something on your property, it's a ground rod, and what it does is it helps to stop with any kind of electrical surges or lightning strikes, that type of thing, right? And it protects your equipment.
So you need one for each device, or
no. It's just one rod that goes in. It's I think somebody corrected me the other day. I thought it was 12 feet, but it's 8 to 10 feet by code. So when you're building your house, this is something that the building inspector will check to make sure that the electrician has actually done this, right? And so it's something that has to be done. And sometimes what happens is you build your house and then you decide you're going to fill in the yard, and then you're going to put soil down and then landscaping. And what happens is, because the top of it is pretty ugly, it's like these things that that if you stub your toe with, you're going to break the skin and maybe break your toe. Most people bury them, but you should not. You can't bury them. So what'll happen is you can't even find it anymore. Well, it's so far under the ground, even if it's like a foot, it's under the ground. It doesn't work any longer.
Wow.
It doesn't create it's the force of what it's supposed to do cannot be done.
Mm-hmm.
So
can you retrofit?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't find one, it's a good idea to call your electrician and say, listen, I really can't find it, because they should be able to find the wire that comes from your on-off switch and track it down. Sometimes that even disappears because it's 20 years down the road, and it might have corroded, or somebody might have knocked it out, like somebody who works in your yard. So that needs to be done, and I would only have an electrician do it. I would not ask your uncle, brother, cousin to do it.
Right.
It's something that needs to be done. There's also something else you can do, and it's very inexpensive. It's about $180, and you can get a full house surge protector that is also put on. That's also been put on in your meter box outside. And it's, like I said, it's $180. You can buy it locally. And again, this is something that I would have an electrician done.
You need both of those, ground rods.
You don't. But I got to be honest. People build a new house. They have the ground rod, and then they have extension cords that are surge protectors. Well, why have a surge protector at every one of every unit you have in your house? Why not just put one on?
So you're saying you wouldn't need all of those anymore if you have the ground rod on?
Well, why? No, you wouldn't need them, because your entire
house. Would I be able to sleep comfortably, not having everything on a surge protector?
Well, you and I are warrior. No,
for good reason.
Yes, no. Oh, Laverne.
Yeah, Laverne's here. I heard, Laverne, you have a question.
I can't hear you. Sorry.
I do have a question.
Okay.
I do have a question. I know, I'm in Grand Bahama, but of course, we still are doing our best to conserve power and keep our power bill down. So we've changed out and put in all the energy saver bulbs, and they do last a considerably long time, and so it is a savings. But I was having a discussion with my mom and other people, and they do things to me, I think it's extreme, but maybe you can say that there is value in it. Like they turn off their water heater and they turn off breakers. And I'm saying, I don't know if I want to have to do all of that every time we leave the house and we go to work. They're turning off everything. And so how much is there really a significant saving by doing that?
The thing is, you can conserve energy and not have to live like a caveman. Truthfully, you don't really have to do all of those things. With a hot water heater, you could just put a timer on it, so that you don't have to worry about if you know that you shower every morning and every evening, right? So you set the timer so that it's on before you wake up, and then it comes on when you come home from work, right? So you can actually do these kind of things.
And you can do that with any old water heater?
With any old water heater. Okay. Put a timer on it, right? So it basically, you really would, even if you just did it in the morning, the water would stay warm because they're insulated. And then you can also buy a zipper thing, which is like an insulator bag that covers your water heater. And that would even keep the water warm enough and hot enough for to shower after 5 o'clock, right? So you could put a timer on, and you would eliminate having to turn that breaker on and off, because every time you turn it off, the water will cool. It'll cool to a certain point, right? You may forget to turn it on. So that doesn't make any sense. Well, It works for some people. It would not work for me. I would never remember. And then my water heater is outside downstairs. And oh my gosh, I would really have to do that. And I'd probably be naked because I'd be in the bathroom and oh crap, I got to put on clothes. I got to go downstairs. Way too much effort. I don't know about you, but I'm a busy person.
That was my thing. I'm like, this is so much effort. So I have to get up. I got to do this. I got to remember that. And I'm like you. When I come home from work and I want to go, I'm not thinking to turn on this water heater. So I could just see me in the bathroom like having a meltdown.
Yeah, because you'd have to come home from work. You'd have to have 2 glasses of wine. And then you could go to the bathroom and check a bottle. Oh, that sounds. I'm coming to visit you.
But when I'm traveling, I turn it off. That makes sense, right?
That makes sense. You can do that. Yeah.
Because I never do, right? And I just think it's like so much work. And I'm like, is it really? Because my mom swears that it is. Like, she has seen a significant reduction in her electricity bill since she's been doing that. But I'm like, this is just so much effort.
Yeah, it's a bit too much for me. There are certain, like I had mentioned earlier, if you don't use your air conditioning system in the winter, turn those breakers off, right? Because there's no sense in pulling.
Can you afford to use your air conditioning system in the summer?
Can you afford? Listen, it took me 12 years.
For me to do that, I got to get another job.
It took me 12 years to be able to actually get air conditioning, and I got air conditioning July 20th during COVID. Yes, for the first time. And it's been a challenge not having air conditioning. I got to be honest, it's been a real challenge to survive. And I work from home because I'm a contractor and I'm self-employed and my office is in my house. And it's really, really been a challenge to do that. But what I did is I wasn't going to buy a 13 SEER, which are not even allowed in the United States any longer. Right. I decided I was going to get the most energy efficient that I could. And I wanted central air. I didn't want split systems because it bothered me that so much mold and mildew would build up in your house because of the humidity. And split units do not take the humidity out of the air, where central does. So now, because the water passes through the air handler and all the moisture is taken out, and then dry air comes back in again, I don't have to worry about having to wash all the clothes in my closet every month or two because they're always moldy and mildewy. I don't have to worry about walking into a room that's been closed because I have 2 rooms upstairs that I don't use. They were my daughter's rooms, but now they're just guest rooms. And then so I don't open the door any longer and smell mold and mildew and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I did. So I bought a 20 SEER split unit. Central air unit. Yeah. Sorry. See, the mouth is not working. Still not working. And it was $5,000, but it was
big investment.
It was a 5-ton though, so it's a large unit, and then it cost because it was energy efficient. The duty was like 5%, so it was like nothing. And when like I said, I had it hooked up in July 20th. And I've checked my bill every single month after that, and my bill increased $8. $8.
That's pretty good.
$8.
Yeah.
Not $300 or $400. The reason I at one point in time there was air conditioning in the house, but the bill was $1,000 in the summer.
Wow.
I couldn't afford to do that. I mean, that's a mortgage payment. And so, I decided that I would rather save until I can actually do what is best first of all, for the environment, and financially best for me in the long run.
Yeah. So you bring up an interesting point. The debate about turning these things, whether it's a central unit or a split unit, on and off, as opposed to keeping it.
Mine is on at 75 degrees, and it hasn't been turned off except for when BPL has gone off. Since July, has not been off one day. Well, whatever days BPL has been off, it's been off. Other than that,
so that's what you recommend. Keep it on, but at a higher temperature.
Right, a moderate temperature. Because for me, without having air conditioning, I walk upstairs and I feel like I'm in heaven.
Yes.
And it's 75 degrees. But because your room is always at that degree, because you're not turning it off in the daytime and then it goes up to 82 or 84 and then it has to cool itself down.
Right.
The time it takes to cool itself down doesn't make sense to me. And when after seeing my bill, and I'll be more than happy to send copies of my bill to anybody who queries what I'm saying, because I don't talk, if it's not true, I don't talk it. because it doesn't make sense. I'm in this to help people
Right.
and to guide them. So
So
I'm not
even with
gonna-
the ductless units, you recommend keeping it on?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of ductless units, so I really don't know.
Yeah.
I'd have to speak to maybe my electrician, who I think has ductless units in his house, and see what his bills are like, and then I could get back to you on
Yeah,
that. But
okay.
I can't speak of something I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I want to talk about. You talk about what to do now, but let's talk about the future in a few minutes. But let's take these calls really quickly, and then we may take the break, and then we'll come back and talk about the near future. Caller, are you there? Are you on the air? Are you there? No? Did we lose him? Okay. Here's a question then.
By the way, there's a delay. When I've called in on the radio, there's a delay. So
Yeah,
when you
so
say
there's-
there,
give them a chance.
You have to give them say it twice.
Yeah, I always have to
Yeah.
do that, it seems. This question here, ask about tankless water heaters. It's too expensive to cool the whole house, especially at night with central AC. Well, it's two different issues there. But anyway, what are your views on tankless water heaters?
They're excellent, but
Yeah.
you have to use water that doesn't have a lot of calcium. I happen to have a well, and the calcium in my well is I actually have to, after I wash the dishes, I have to spray them with vinegar and then dry them.
Oh boy!
So a tankless heater would not be able to deal with that because
Right.
the calcium would build up too much. But if you're using city water,
water
which
should
I
be
think
okay.
it's lower in calcium, I'd have to speak to Cyprian Gibson, who's one of my committee members,
Yeah.
to find out what the calcium levels are. But yes, tankless, yes, they are good because, if you depending on how your house is done, you could have one for your bathrooms and kitchen because a lot of times they're back to back, right? Because the shorter the run, the better it's going to be for you, right?
Yeah. No, I've heard great things.
Yes.
Friends who have them rave about them and talk about the savings.
Yeah, they are good.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about solar water heaters, which I guess is a good idea, but I've never found any very inexpensive. They're like $4,000, $5,000, and to me, when my bill was $187 a month, it was with an 80-gallon water heater. It was with I have LED lights on outside all the time because I have so much foliage that they never go off. I have an electric stove. I have 14 ceiling fans. I mean, so I got a lot of stuff, and that includes my water heater. So it can't be that expensive,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
Wow.
How much more would I reduce my bill with?
All right, this question here, what's the difference between a whole house surge protector and a whole house voltage regulator?
Well, okay. So when power comes into your building, right? You have so many amps that come to your building. In the old days, a 60 amp service was the main that most people had, and then it went to 100, and then it went to 150, and then then you also now have you have single phase and you have three phase, right? So depending on how much power you will using is how many amps will actually come to your house. The voltage would be consistent with. I'm not an electrician, so I'm not going to tell you that. But a voltage regulator would be if you have surges and if certain things happen to go. And that's, to me, that's I think, in my opinion, an electrician could please call me and tell me if I'm wrong, that the surge protector actually helps if there is a change in voltage to make sure your appliances don't get damaged.
Right, right.
know?
Or is it the voltage regulator that does that one?
The surge protector will stop the voltage from
Right, okay.
That's the whole thing that happens.
Yeah. If you can find one that does both, I mean,
To me, the surge protector does.
Yeah.
But normally I would just call and say, Ranrick, help me.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take up the time
Yeah.
doing that.
All right, let's take this call, and we've got to take a break. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
Okay, hi, power lady. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Are you the electrician who's going to help me with the
No, ma'am,
information?
I'm not the electrician, but I will, like the Bahamian people who have listened to you over the years, we will hold onto this golden knowledge, as sure as Stephen Gardiner won the gold for us and made us proud today. Yes, absolutely. But please, I'm sure you did it already over one or two of the different shows. Explain the difference between the LED light bulb and the CFL light bulb.
Oh, you are a doll.
But no.
No. You're leading me right into something I want to talk about later. So this is awesome. A new project that I have. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna make my little statement and then hang up.
Thank you.
I'm happy to see where the world are today as it relates to how far technology has come. The time will come when all of these electrical wires running through people's homes that can be deadly in hurricane times if we lack the knowledge of what's really in our walls as it relates to water and hurricanes and living in a hurricane belt area environment. Okay, the point here is this. I'm happy to know the time will come when the power from the sun and the hard work of the people, them going to work, making their money, and transitioning thanks to the legislation by our governments that will come forward to make it easier for the average visitor spending money here, resident here, business person, Bahamians, but mostly do it for Bahamians. And if you do and affect changes for Bahamians, the world will be attracted to you because of what you do for your people.
Okay.
Thank you. No more time.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Respect.
All right, Debbie, we'll get to the light bulb after the break. Yep. This is Morning Blend on Gardiner Radio 96.9, Morning Blend Business. We're talking with Debbie Deal, talking about energy and what you need to do to protect yourself as a consumer now and in the future. Stay with us.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations.
Wait, you know what's going down tomorrow?
Nobody, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Wait, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know, Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you want?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
All right, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I avoid?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Croc Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the calls go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and you can claim a reward later using that same pen. Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you saying.
Calls 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Switching your mortgage to CIBC First Caribbean is easy, affordable, and convenient. We'll help with your switching cost, give you 3 months payment free, and waive your commitment fees so you can enjoy the break you need. Plus, you'll get up to 95% financing and a pre-approved Visa Gold or Platinum credit card with 5,000 bonus reward points and more. Switch your home base to CIBC First Caribbean. Terms and conditions apply. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more information.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. While credit performance indicators improved in the month of June, Central Bank Governor John Rawls says in the near term, he expects non-performing loans to rise as job uncertainty remains for many Bahamians. The central bank's monthly economic and financial developments report for June 2021 found that over the first 6 months of the year, total private sector arrears grew by $7.6 million or 1%, due largely to a 10.6% growth in long-term arrears, or about $50.2 million. The short-term arrears category declined by $42.6 million, or 14.3%. Broken down by loan type, commercial arrears advanced 38.5% with short-term delinquencies, and non-performing loans increasing by more than 77% and 21% respectively. Consumer loan arrears also inched higher by just over 9%. On the other hand, residential mortgage arrears declined by 7.4%, attributed mainly to a nearly 24% decrease in short-term delinquencies. Rawls says that as of June, just over 2% of loans were still being deferred in local banking institutions. Commercial banks have made the biggest strides in reporting to the newly created Credit Bureau, with utility companies expected to soon follow suit. That's according to the central bank. The bank recently designated BTC, Cable Bahamas, Live, BPL, and Water Service Corporation as credit information providers for the purpose of reporting to the Credit Bureau. Read more on this in today's Guardian Business section. Virgin Atlantic will be launching a London to the Bahamas route with flights twice per week beginning in November. The airline will join British Airways in linking the Bahamas to Europe, and its tickets, which could start at about $900, go on sale beginning August 11th. And Vital Records Control has acquired Sunrise Information Management. The company released a press statement extolling its expansion to the Bahamas though without mentioning the Sunrise brand. The Tennessee-based company explained that it is the third largest records and information management company in the U.S., having more than 100 facilities across the country there. Guardian Business contacted a VRC executive yesterday who said the company would provide information on the acquisition, but no call was returned up to press time yesterday. Overseas, Moderna and its COVID-19 vaccine brought in about $4 billion in its second quarter sales, helping to push the vaccine developer into a profit. The company is saying today that an analysis showed that its vaccine remains 93% effective as much as 6 months after the second dose. Moderna's announcement comes after pharmaceutical giant Pfizer said its COVID-19 vaccine remained effective months after the second dose and had become a top seller. It brought in nearly half the company's revenue, $7.84 billion from direct sales and revenue split with its partner, Germany's BioNTech. The COVID-19 vaccine is Moderna's only commercially approved product. It is also developing several vaccines that aim to guard against the flu, Zika, and HIV, among other viruses. Those are all in early stages of clinical testing. The company also is testing a potential booster shot for the COVID vaccine. Overall, Moderna earned $2.78 billion in the second quarter, compared to a loss of $117,000 last year before its vaccine received emergency use authorization in the U.S. and other countries to fight the global pandemic. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday. Your market movers, Bank of the Bahamas moving 1,810 shares, down 2 cents to 142. Commonwealth Brewery moving 1,366, up 24 to 599. BSB GR 710237 moving 31, closing at $102, unchanged. Consolidated Water unchanged at $251. Emira Incorporated unchanged at $1137. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 1,977.57, up 3.05. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. We are back here with Morning Glen Business on Gardiner Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardiner. We're talking with Debbie Deal, who's the Director of Energy and Environment at the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation. Continuing our discussion about energy in the country today and in the future. All right, so you were telling me about this off air. This is very exciting. The CFLs, we know at one point they were hailed as the hero, but they have quickly lost favor because of mercury.
Correct.
And it's very dangerous.
Right. So CFLs, which is compact fluorescent light, have been replaced with light-emitting diodes, which is LED. Mm-hmm. So when CFLs seem to be the be-all and end-all to getting rid of incandescent bulbs, and incandescent bulbs did pull a lot of energy, and they didn't have a very long shelf life. No. It was like, a long life. It was like maybe 2 years or 1 year, something like that.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Mm-hmm. CFLs had a life of like 4 years, and then LEDs have a life of like 22 years. Mm-hmm. So CFLs have been, people don't really understand that the power from a CFL comes from the use of mercury. And a lot of people don't realize that mercury is a very toxic product or mineral, and it's actually a killer. And the country has just signed on, probably 6 months, maybe a year ago, maybe a little longer, to the Minamata Convention. And this is it's a global initiative to eliminate mercury that is put in by, you can't eliminate mercury that's in nature, but you can eliminate putting mercury in man-made products or to do certain things. Like energy companies, there's certain things in that where mercury is often used. Our light switches that we have have mercury in it. The face creams that women use to lighten their skin have mercury in it, and of course the CFLs. But the Minamata Convention aim is to eliminate mercury, and we signed on to that, and we have agreed that we will do everything we can to get, and also the gray tooth fillings are full of mercury. Wow. So you don't have to be afraid if the mercury is in your mouth. It's when it gets extracted that the mercury becomes an issue. Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the bulbs.
Same thing with the bulb. When the bulb is working and fine, it's great. But if it breaks, the mercury gets out. It doesn't go into the air and just, it drops, right? So it's one of those things that just drops. So if it gets on your fingers or your feet or something like that, it's toxic. It just goes right in your skin. So, and the name of the Minamata Convention came from an issue that happened in Japan where mercury is used in mining. And what it does is it really attracts and adapts. It attracts to other metals, right? So it was good in the use of mining gold worldwide. And they found many people around the world were dying from it. They were getting cancer. They were getting brain cancer. From the creams, children were being born deformed. There was a lot of reasons to actually eliminate this, right? We don't have to worry about mining. We have small issues to deal with here, right? So I had contacted the Department of Environmental Planning and asked if the chamber and they could join forces on the elimination of the CFL light bulbs and also ink. That's a sideline, but yes, that as well. So I contacted Pia Farmer, and she's the partner in that part with us on that. So we have decided that, yes, we will partner on doing this, and it's my job to get the private sector businesses to be a part of this and the benefits of it. And I have a number of them already that are on board to do this. I'd like to cement a few more before I actually go back to DEP. And we sign a memorandum of understanding. This is something that will really benefit our country, right? Because it's to ban them coming in is a bit of a challenge, because then we would have to go to the Attorney General's office. We'd have to go to the government to get approval to actually do a ban. And then from there, it would have to go to public consultation and, everything that has to go on doing the ban, like we did with the plastics ban, right? There was a lot of legwork and things that had to actually get done, legal documents and stuff to do that. But if we just don't bring them in,
Right.
if we support the health of our nation and not bring a product in, because you can now get 4 LED light bulbs for $8, $10 in a pack, right? Four for $8 or $10, and you can buy them locally. So it doesn't make, to me, it doesn't make sense to use something that we may not have known before was poisonous and toxic. And, every job site I've been on doing renovations, these just get thrown in a dumpster.
Right.
I mean, it's just a toxic nightmare. And
It's very
nobody's
scary.
even thinking, no one even thinks of masks or anything like that, or touching it, because it absorbs into your skin. So I'm really, really, grateful that the Chamber and DEPP, Department of Environmental Planning, will work on a project to actually do this.
So are the companies agreeing to not bring them in, not sell them anymore?
A lot of them that I've approached don't even do it. Don't
They
even
don't.
sell them anymore. I mean, there are so many people in this country that are environmentally conscious and really want to do something good for the country and globally. And if we can do something to actually change these things and to protect our people, why not do it?
Yeah.
The dentist.
So what about regular people who might still want to bring them in, though? What do we do
Oh,
about
they
that?
can do that too, but why would you?
Right.
If it's more expensive to bring them in and buy an LED light bulb here that's going to last for 20 years, why would you do that?
Yeah.
But
I think I've told you before, I still have, when I used to use those,
Yes.
I still have them because you're not supposed to throw them away.
I have a
don't know
box
what
in
to
my
do.
house too.
What do we do with them?
Well, right now, the best thing that you could do would be to take them to the landfill. And I know that's a ridiculous thing to have to do, but they have a hazardous toxic waste area.
Okay.
And then they would actually send them out. But that's what I'm saying. We were going to try to collect them, so if a business sold them, they would collect them if somebody wanted to bring them in. But and do it as a loss leader, have it at the back of the store where you take in your CFLs that you want to get rid of and you walk past and you buy something on the way out. So it actually helps in, your sales and everything. But the fact that trying to keep them from not breaking is an issue. So like I said, it's easier to try to not have to send them somewhere else out of the country, just not bring them into the country.
Wow. All right, so keep us posted on that one.
Thank you.
Getting some interesting text messages. This will lead to one of my questions. This person asks, how do I tell if my neighbor's electric car is using my electricity to charge? I don't know why that would happen.
Well, if the car is plugged into their house, then it would be. But do they have a long extension cord and at nighttime they sneak out and plug it in? There's a charging station now that PF Pharma just put in at Harbor Bay, right? So I go there. I go to Harbor Bay in the morning to Starbucks, and I quite often find cars there that are plugged in, charging up, and then going for coffee, and it's free.
All right, so that was going to be my question. We're heading in this direction. Definitely, more people need to be thinking about that, retrofitting their homes, building new homes with an area for cars to charge. What do people need to keep in mind once they are putting in these chargers?
I guess the best thing to do would be to contact Easy Sales and just find out exactly, how many amps do they need, what kind of a charging plug would they need? Would they need to adapt anything, or could they use just a regular grounded outlet? That would be the best thing to do. So that and even though you may not buy the car from them, which I hope you do, because P has worked tirelessly on this in this country to do better for this country, but you still need to. Or you could Google it. You could Google it.
Yeah,
right.
There's a lot of information out
Yeah,
there.
there's a lot of information out there. Yeah,
But you be thinking about it because we're headed is going to come.
We are. We really need to consider everything when we're building a house. That's another thing I was going to say. When you build, we need to make sure that our building code gets changed to adopt to these things, right? We need to make sure that the CFLs, things like that we need to make sure that the next thing that is on that list is insulation, right?
Yeah.
So if anybody has ever opened up their attic space in the middle of summer, you know that the heat comes down on you and you melt immediately because your attic goes up to about 140 degrees in the summer. And so there's two things you can do. You can paint your roof with an elastomeric paint and white, and it reflects. There's actually one, I will send you a link to it, that actually keeps your house, if you were to set, let's say, air condition your house to 70, it would keep your house at 70. It's new, and I have the link, so I'll send you that so you can share it with whoever you want to. Or you can do Icynene insulation, which is a blow-in insulation. Icynene is the number one lead product in the world because the insulating and keeping cool of the buildings, especially as climate change keeps going because it's not stopping, and it's going to get hotter. If you keep your attic and that part of your house cool, the rest of your house will remain cool.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
All right, we've got 30 seconds left here.
Sorry.
Somebody says here, a 300 plus watt solar panel. This must be an electrician. Maybe 300 plus watt solar panel coupled with a 150 watt or 300 watt 24 V. Volts, okay. I was going to say valve. Oh boy, 24 volt DC, not AC element, replaces existing AC element. Directly connected, will heat your water gradually all day free.
Oh, okay. So one panel will do that.
That was like Japanese to me. I didn't understand.
Wow.
Did you understand?
But how much is it, though?
Saying?
But how much would it
That's
cost?
another question.
Yeah.
And then you talked about it. Sounds like you need to have
Well, I would like
regular-
to know that so that I could actually start sharing that when I'm on radio or when I'm doing articles and stuff.
So send us more information.
Thank
you. Inspections. How often should you have inspections of your homes to make sure that you aren't using a lot of energy unnecessarily? The ghost products that you talked about, the ghosting that goes on, and other inefficiencies in your house.
Well, I think it's like everything. You when you're first starting it, you're right into it. You just do absolutely everything, and then as time fades, you forget about it, and you think, okay, well, I'm going to buy this, and I plug it in. You know, you have a hair dryer in your bathroom because you're a girl and you want to blow dry your hair in the morning, and you never unplug it. You know, just things like that you don't think about. So I would go around my house probably around once a month just to make sure, is there another bulb that I need to replace? And if so, let's say I do have a CFL, when I go to the grocery store or when I go to an electric store, I will buy a light bulb and replace that, put it in my budget.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. And if you need help, call me. I'll be more than happy to come out and look at your house. I've been to many, many, many homes in this country.
That's right.
Yes.
Give us, if you don't mind, give us your number then so we can reach out
My
to you.
number is 557-4845, and it's a WhatsApp number as well, so you can contact me by that. Yes.
Okay. Debbie Deal, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Laverne.
Yes.
That's it for us. I'll talk with you again next week. Enjoy.
Okay. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Share all the information with all of those people in Grand Bahama.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And let's continue to celebrate Stephen Gardiner and
Absolutely.
Keep everything crossed for Shawnee for tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend, and stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.